Hello!
What's up?
I'm
How are you?
good.
That was pretty cool. That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, it was fun, right? Vinny put that together for us.
I haven't seen any of these, so I've seen like a few. But hi guys, welcome. That was awesome. My like heart is like, oh, I'm beating out of my chest. I can't. That was unbelievable. It's the first time I've seen that. Introduce yourselves. This is two very important people.
Yeah, so I'm Jake. I'm the owner of JK Productions and Community Jake, as you may know me, Jerma's manager. And I put together this show, Jeremy's incredible idea. And I have Alex here, my right-hand man, who was in charge of all the tech. So if you want to say hi.
Hi, my name's Alex. Yeah, I was the director for the Dollhouse, so any of the technology that wasn't from the extension was something that my group was working on and that we'll talk about tonight.
Also, these two guys were responsible for more than just this. Archaeology. Thank these two. Bugleberry's hot tub. These guys. Even before that, the Halloween stream. These guys. So they've been around for a long time.
And of course, the carnival.
They're oh yeah, absolutely, the carnival. I can't. How did I forget that? But they've been. These are the people behind the shit that you see. So they're in the flesh here.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. Tonight, we're segmenting the show into three parts. So the first part of the show is about the pre-production of Dollhouse, sort of how it came to be, and then the second part of the show is about what the Dollhouse production was like. So while it was happening, what was it like, sort of behind the scenes? And then the third part of the show is with our talent, where we talk about the content and like how we came up with things, like different segments on the show, and how a lot of it, most of it, sort of happened on the fly, like as chat made their decisions and that sort of thing, and how we developed our beats and all that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty excited. We have way more footage than we could possibly show.
There's a lot of clips. There's like hundreds.
We've cut down well over 100 hours of footage, down to, I don't know, maybe 90 minutes or so, and we're probably not even going to get to show all of it tonight. So
we don't usually get to talk about this side too, so this will be fun.
We're pretty excited.
People to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
questions out there too.
On the second channel, there's going to be like a cut down, like documentary, essentially, right?
Yeah. So we're doing
even if you don't see it today, you'll see some of it later.
Yeah, we're doing the normal second Jerma cuts of each episode, and then we'll be doing a behind the scenes cut too. That's like this super cut of all of this stuff together. So even if there's stuff we don't get to show today, hopefully it'll show up there.
Release the cut. Release the cut. No, not yet. Not yet. Not until I get my hands on it.
So
6 hours.
With us today, in the first part of the show here, we have Nick Lawrence from Andymark.
6 rooms.
Want that to happen. We got Nick Lawrence from Andymark. If you want to say hi, Nick.
Hey everybody, my name is Nick Lawrence. I usually work for Andymark as a mechanical engineering person, but also in a small group of people that get to do really fun, super special projects like the Dollhouse. And it was a total blast. One of the coolest things I've ever worked on.
Yeah, and also carnival stuff too. So all the robots, that's these guys. They did that too. So they were responsible for so much stuff. And I cannot say, I can say it a million times, but you guys are worth going to a million times over. I would rather use the Andymark people over like the highest quality studio in Los Angeles 100 times. You guys are
really,
unbelievable.
really kind. We
there's no way we'd be able to find. Yeah,
I just want to say in front of everybody that we super appreciate the opportunity, and we had a blast doing it for sure. We look forward to more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There will be plenty more. That's for sure.
So I think to start us off,
there's a cat.
Oh yeah, there's a cat.
Cat sighting.
Yeah. Simon's finding a place to sit for the stream.
I think to start off this section, I'm gonna show a few photos real quick, and then we're gonna jump into a tour that I gave to our BTS op Vinny, and we can kind of skip through that and see what it was like on set there. But to get us started, this was like a super early render of what the space looked like in the mind of the engineers over at AndyMark. And as you can see, it's, we had this idea about like, we want this dollhouse to be 2 floors. We want there to be, it needs to be more than just a bunch of sets. And we talked about having like disconnected sets, where it's like, okay, well, we can pretend that they're upstairs. We can use some camera magic to superimpose them upstairs or whatever. And at least I was pretty insistent that it needed to be a house. It needed to be a 2-story house for us to have the effect that we wanted it to have. And so, as much as it annoyed everyone, I think to be insistent on that, this is sort of what we came up with. And so, looking at it, these are like some renders that we had of like where inside the warehouse, because the roof in the warehouse isn't really that tall. And so we had some issues with like how high the truss can be and where the lights needed to be and all that sort of thing. But, you could see like an overhead here, we have the upper rooms and the forward rooms are actually set back. The upper rooms are set back, which is why when you see that full house view, the upper rooms look smaller because they're 20 feet back from those lower rooms. But it really is necessary in order to shoot that way.
And to light the space, right? To be able to light something without having a floor on top of it. And you're talking about a building where, like, at some points in this building, the roof is only 23 or 24 feet, and the set itself is 18 feet. So there was a lot of kind of camera tricks and light tricks to make the items look correct. And to have the force perspective for the walls, because you really need to feel like you can see what's on a wall, right? You can't build a 90-degree wall, or you wouldn't be able to tell what you were placing.
Yeah, they're like this, right? Like that.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're like frayed up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely like
originally I was going to go out the top floor window.
Oh,
that was the first idea. Was I want to go out the second floor window, not the bottom floor.
That was the plan.
Like, how the fuck are we going to have you go out of a second floor window? I was like, I don't know, figure it out. And then I like walked out of the room.
Yeah, Nick, I don't know if you want to say anything about those forced perspective rooms, because that idea was the genius, I think, behind how we were able to shoot this, and that totally came from your group.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people. I mean, I'm just one of the team. I mean, Liz and Rin and Brett, really the other core people on our team, that all have a lot of artsy theater perspective, and they really kind of drove the shapes of the rooms from our end. And they were like, yeah, like every set ever, they got the rooms open so you can see the stuff on the walls, which makes it so much easier to shoot and see like grandma's spoons on the walls. You can actually see them instead of having to like bring cameras way around and see the detail, the doors opening and the window openings, all of that. Yeah, it's funny that like when the project was pitched to us, we were like, you want 2 stories, right? Okay, so we're gonna fake this, right? And you're like, no, it's gotta be 2 stories. And we're like, okay, so it's 2 stories, we got it. Yeah, you can actually see the real life one here. The walls on the kitchen room and the bathroom room were kind of tapered together here. That you can see the walls kind of tapering open, which is pretty neat. One of the things we had to be super careful of, you can see in this, is the tops of all the alleyways are just fabric. They just needed to be black, and we had to be super careful, to remind people to not step on them because it wasn't a flooring surface. It definitely caught me up a little bit while I was doing painting.
Yeah, I almost fell and died actually once during the setup of the show. So
yeah. One of the things that we super had to care about was safety, right? And we way overbuilt that upper level because when we were planning the show, at one point we thought that there might be as many as 15, 20, even 30 people in one room. Plus, chat could have placed all the furniture in one room. So we had to deal with thousands of pounds of payload and make sure it was safe, right? So it's all the truss structure underneath is way overbuilt for your average house. But
yeah, let's get the tour video started. We could pause it along the way to point out some of that stuff, I think.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
So this is the set, and it's 6 rooms. There's 2 upstairs and 4 downstairs, and this is the yard. We consider the yard to be a room because it's a place where chat can put things, and it's on camera. people can interact there and stuff. But on day 1, we just have rooms 4 and 5. They're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so rooms 4 and 5 are the yellow room.
Those are probably 5 or 6 days before air.
The yellow room will be on day 1.
Pause for 1 sec.
The entire living space.
When did you guys finish it? Like, when was it ready to go? How far before the stream?
What time did the stream start?
3 o'clock on Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember when I walked in, I was like, "Holy shit, this is ready." And I think that you had just barely fit. People don't realize that like all this was potentially finished not even a week before the stream started.
Yeah, 1 week before the stream started is the day that we got the delivery of our tech rental. So all that truss work and lighting and stuff that you see was 1 week before stream. And so actually, I think 6 days before stream. So all of the tech got built, and then all the finishing. I mean, you'll see in this tour the state of the rooms. This is still probably 3 days
like
before.
The bulk of them were there. The colors and the doors and all that.
The living room. There'll be the bedroom, I guess. And so Chad will have a little bit of a challenge trying to figure out how to make it work. Room 5 here is the bathroom, and the bathroom is smaller than every other room in the house, but it's still quite large for a bathroom, which Chat seemed to notice on the Sims stream, the Sims 3 stream that we did earlier this month. And so yeah, we've got like a shower and toilet, a little vanity and stuff, but there's so much room in here that on that first day, we wouldn't be surprised to see a bed in here or some other furniture in here because there's not a ton of room in that other room, and we think that's kind of funny. Over here, room 6, this is probably a bedroom. I think we're calling it a bedroom in the software. But again, Jack can kind of do what they want. So now the yellow room becomes... Yeah.
I don't know if you go. I haven't seen this video yet, so I don't know if you go into further detail. But you can see one of the monitors that's behind the window to make the background there. Do you show that a little later in this video, or is?
Yeah, I think we see the back of them a little bit later. But yeah, there were in total. I think we bought over 20 TVs between the small ones and the big ones to make this set a reality. So I think that the windows, the TVs in the windows, was just an amazing effect. That it was such a small touch.
I was hoping people caught it.
It brought it all together, yeah.
It's one of those rules.
Rain, the fire, the day, night.
Yeah, someone's sitting there controlling the weather to make it correspond with the graphic of the house and what's going on with the day-night cycle, right? Like, so one of those details that sticks out.
I'll skip forward a little bit here. We're talking about these windows. Let's see. And there's also that window in the front. So if we go and take a look at that window, and so this is where the burglar is going to come through. But because all these walls are double walls, in order to create the forced perspective, it's a little awkward because the burglar is going to have to.
Now you see how hard it was to climb through
step inside here,
and then have to climb out the other. Yeah,
exactly. But I think it's also kind of funny. Like I'm not bothered by it. Like I think it's going to be.
That'll work.
And then on day 3, we add rooms 1 and 2. Room 1 becomes the bedroom, which is that kind of maroon room up there, and room 6, which was that blue room, now becomes the living room. So this is really just the kitchen, and then the room 2 is that unfinished room up there with that closet wall in the back. And so that's the storyline goes that at the end of day 2, the house burns down, and Jeremy collects the insurance money for it, and he gets to buy a bigger house. So he buys this bigger house, but it has this room that was never finished. And so he wants to finish the room to turn it into an office or something like that. And so he goes up there and cleans all the junk out of it, and he starts working on it and accidentally kills his neighbor's power in the process of doing that. And the neighbor comes over and says, "What the hell's going on here?" and offers to help him finish the room. And the other change for day 3 is in the yard in room 3 here. What's that?
It's scripted Saul, somebody said.
Yeah. So I think
the thing is, we had, you can take this one, because we had like a few things that were actually absolutely going to happen.
Yeah, so it was important for us to understand how we were going to get from one day to the next, because the idea was that we wanted the house to get bigger from day 1 to day 2, and then we wanted to blow everybody's minds by making the house 2 stories for the 3rd day. And so we had to come up with a storyline that made sense to get us from day 1 to day 2 to day 3. And we had a few these like technical things that we wanted to happen that kind of we needed to know how they were going to happen in order for them to work. And the great example of that is the fire at the end of day 2, right? We knew we wanted to have a house fire. We knew that we wanted, right? That's like a very Sims thing, have a house fire. We knew we wanted to have a house fire, and we also knew that Jeremy wanted to go out a window. And so coupling those two things together actually didn't happen until Jeremy was on site. We knew that Jeremy was going to go out the window, but we didn't know how or why he was going to go out the window until it was like pretty much the day before the shoot. And it was like, okay, why is Jeremy going out the window? How is he going out the window? And that's when we talked about the fire and rehearsed the fire and blocked the fire out in order to make that happen. And so the fire was the natural storyline about you get insurance money, you buy a bigger house, or you rebuild your house or whatever it is to get that huge house on day 3.
What we didn't know, for example, is the call came from chat for when he would make the food that started the sequence for the fire. So we didn't know where the fire would happen. We knew it would be related to making food, but ultimately we had to place it somewhere when chat had decided to make food where it was the right time for it to catch on fire. So chat was still involved in that decision, right? Of like the food decision was made and that started the sequence.
Yeah, and there's so many decisions. There's so many different pathways of things that we had thought about where it's like, well,
Get there.
yeah, like what are the different things that they could choose? And we kind of planned for all 3 different options, and then it's like, okay, well, if they pick this one, then what are some more things that they could choose? And so there's like dozens of storylines that did not play out because of how chat chose them. But as you'll see as we kind of go through this, the reality of the situation is that you have to have some pre-planning in how some of these more complicated things are executed in order for them to work. And a great example is the window shatter, right?
Which was something that had to happen.
For sure.
People say my mic is fucked up. Does it sound bad?
Sounds
Is it
good
only my
to me.
webcam mic?
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Sounds okay.
Sound weird? Oh. Let me see.
So this is prop storage, and it's kind of laid out by room. So there's like kitchen stuff over here, couches over here, bed stuff over there, chairs over here. So as chat purchases things, the people in the morph suit movers will come back here, pick the item, and then we'll go through the front door and install the item inside the house, wherever chat said to put it, or as close to it as possible. And this is where Nick was talking about those trusses overhead.
Yeah, those are on like 12-inch spacing, which is kind of absurd for floor trussing. You can see it was, I mean, the rooms are like 16-foot square, and there's 2 of them upstairs. So there's this very long, unsupported span that we had to deal with. So we ran crap tons of these, those engineered wooden I-beams to support the weight of that. But it also created this nice cavity where we could, put prop storage. And the size of the upstairs was driven by the building more than anything, because of the spans between the vertical columns in the building we were shooting in. We wanted to tie into those to help support the floor. And did a pretty good job of hiding the beams, especially you guys with all the curtains you hung to hide the beams on set. But they were baked in, and they were part of actually holding the set together. And here's one of your TVs behind the windows.
Yeah, TVs, and you could see the hose manifold there of the hose coming in to feed the sink and the toilet feature and
OSHA Andy.
Yeah. We were super enthusiastic about making sure that that little detail of actual running water was available on set, because we already knew we needed running water for one of the toilet gags, right, where the toilets broke in as one of the potential storylines. We needed the toilet bill to spray water. We're like, well, we're already gonna run water here. Why don't we just have the sinks be functional? It actually ended up being useful because we could use the running sinks on set to clean between days. I just had that realistic touch, right?
Yeah. And this is the kind of stuff that you guys would just do. It'd be like, oh, well, we can do running water. It's how? How are you going to do running water? It makes no sense.
It's
guys
pretty funny. You can see you go back, it's actually all garden hoses and adapters.
Yeah,
see if you can see it. So there's the manifold. So that's actually all residential garden hose, manifold stuff in 2 locations, one in the bathroom and one near the, this is behind the kitchen area. And we like went to Menards and just found all of the little bits and doodads to go from garden hose to kitchen sink. And I don't think you can see it here, but there's a little black hose to the like bottom right of those two yellow hoses running into the wall. That's actually running into a 5-gallon bucket because drainage is its own level of difficulty. So we just had 5-gallon buckets to drain the sinks to, and we just emptied them whenever they were needed.
In that same clip,
So we couldn't
that was
use them
just-
for too long.
you see the oven in this clip too.
Yeah.
I have a clip of the oven. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Actually,
think there was a time where I was running the sink, and I think there was a time where I got in my ear. It was like, hey, turn the sink off. Like, you're going to fill the fucking bucket. Like, it's going to overflow.
Yeah.
Because I was using the sink too much, like, one of the days. So somebody had to, like, scramble back there and, like, dump the bucket quick. Because he's, like, going to flood it.
This is the handiwork here of, was it you that worked on this?
It's me and a couple people who worked on the oven part. I did mostly the like dressing of it, whereas another Animark person cut the back of it off, and then Brett really made the hole in the wall work with our contractor. So yeah, this is really cool. This is so that, you know, behind the scenes we could like have like the cookie dough thing work, where you put in the bowl of, you know, cookie dough, and out comes a whole package of cookies without ever having to break camera on that room.
Same with the mac and cheese,
Mac and
right?
cheese did it once too, yeah.
Yeah, mac and cheese was done the same way. And like I was the one who was doing the oven management, and I had to be like super quiet because I knew the shotgun mics were like on and right over the oven. So I'm like super carefully pulling it out of the oven, trying not to make too much noise inside that oven.
I thought somebody was just pissing into that. I was like, oh, that's not, what's that? I was like, why are we looking at this?
Yeah, that's something that Nick just mentioned there too. Every room had a microphone in it, in addition to the ones that the characters were wearing, which is kind of a small thing, but it makes a big difference in the end, because that's how you were able to hear things like the moving crew, right, who are not individually like they don't have microphones on because they don't have lines. But that's how we would get some of that ambient noise of them running into things or kicking things or whatever, or a scene with a lot of characters like in the party and whatnot. We can pick up little bits of conversation, even though not every single person has a microphone. So, but it also, the flip side, right, is that everybody working around that set or backstage has to be super careful, because there's just like these ears that are just over every single room for everything you're doing.
Yeah.
I see Jeremy laughing in the chat here.
Yeah, because I got my fucking like gamer neck.
Actually works.
It does.
The water's not on right now, but it does.
This was the first time that Jeremy saw
This is
it.
the first time that Jeremy saw the house, yeah.
Turn the sprayer on to like when you're
Yes.
like, you know.
Very good, very good. This is unbelievable. When we were sitting
Like-
around just talking about this and going over like what was going to happen, this is like what I wanted, but it was like, holy shit, there's no way this is going to happen. Like, there's no way this is ever going to happen. This is unbelievable. Like, unfucking believable.
So this room gets added on day 2. So on day 2, this becomes the bedroom.
It's
Yeah.
like a Mount Fiji? What is this?
That's just like the built-in Alexa screensaver thing. But we have custom like daytime, nighttime.
Oh my God.
rating.
This shit was so cool.
There's 3
It really was.
fake windows in the house that have TVs behind.
Which is the one that
You know, in like
This is
in like
the one
those
that breaks it.
simulation games you play,
When you're going through it.
like when you see something for the first time, I was actually walking around like clapping at all this shit.
Yeah.
Put a mattress behind.
Like it was just insane.
Whatever, I'll do it.
Is this,
So
I guess we could wait to talk about the glass window.
Oh yeah, going up the stairs.
just as much as we've had.
Yeah.
And that was on the first
And this
day.
is so much stuff. This is an insane amount of stuff, by the way. Like this, but you guys had so many options to buy things. Everything on that list, none of that was not there. How many items were back here for potential? 100?
At least.
We lost track.
Yeah.
120, 130 at least of the larger items.
So
And every night they counted the items to know where they were too, so it was like they were constantly being checked to make sure that the list of what was available, they knew where every item was, they knew how to get to it, because that time is so fast once they select, right?
Nick and I went to Goodwill one day, and we basically cleaned them out of furniture, and they said that it was the largest like order that they had ever had, and then he and I went back 3 more days after that and just cleaned them out every single day. It was like that,
There's
like
box trucks of Goodwill stuff.
but yeah, literal just box truck after box truck after box truck.
filling
Yep.
And the original idea was potentially that we were just going to bring it back, right? Like
Yeah.
we might just bring it all back.
I don't know. yeah, I don't know what you guys are doing with that stuff.
It's still there.
It's still there. I know a lot.
Still figuring it out.
Some of it was claimed by crew, but I assume that
Yeah.
anything that's left over will just get donated again. I mean, some of it was
That's
pretty
the
cool.
plan.
Just donate it again. I want to make this a point too. Pretty much one of the things we wanted to make sure was happening here was, so a lot of the stuff that we got from some of these like thrift stores and stuff was to either get it back there, donate it again, donate it to where it belonged. And a lot of this wood too. A lot of this stuff is going to be reused and repurposed from the construction manager. So
It was all built to
that's
code,
good, too.
so it could be used to build houses.
yeah, like a lot of this is actually going to get potentially repurposed. So that's really good because, you know, we essentially put all this stuff here and essentially built a half a house. So I definitely wanted it to go back as much as we could and kind of repurpose it, recycle it if we could. So
I see chat asking about the stools. So the stools, there was one stool. It was just like, oh, we should probably have a footstool as a thing that they could buy. And chat loved the stools. And so that night we'd send somebody out and said, buy as many stools, that model stool that you can
Cleaned them
find,
out.
and just cleaned them out. Yeah, it was like we went to every store in the area that sold that sort of stool and just bought them out. So we then just used them whenever we could. We used them in the mystery boxes. We put them back in the store.
They were in the cabinets upstairs.
They were in the cabinets. Yeah, the mystery cabinets or whatever they were called. Yeah.
yeah, you get mystery boxes with just stools in them.
Yeah. All of the. This is case storage back here.
Yeah, we had the delivery of all the stuff that the technology that loaded in here was the equivalent of a full semi truck worth. It was like several hours to unload, unload, set it all up. So it's a lot of
Car.
equipment.
No, that's the very back wall, yeah.
I think we have a picture too of kind of the layout plan for all of the motors and everything.
Yeah.
We had a lot of stuff suspended in the air to support all the lights and.
I got to
cameras
clean
and
up some
whatnot.
stuff in there, and then
This is back where everybody was hanging out. There was a monitor here, back there.
Oh yeah.
There was a screen, so all like the actors, all the people that were kind of waiting on the wings, they were all hanging out back here, just watching the screen, just waiting for somebody to pump in their ear or somebody to run back here and be like, "All right, we need a clown," and then just they would get ready and come out.
Yeah, I think I might have a clip of that somewhere. Yeah, here. This one's called Green Room Chillin'. There they are. There's our actors back in that
Moving
green
crew
room.
at the ready.
Yeah.
They're like
just
moving
based on the
around.
decisions, based on the chat decisions, we didn't know how fast it might be between bicycles or between different like scenes and gags, right? So everybody kind of had to be like armed and all the time. So.
That couch is so
What-
freaking comfortable, by the
what
way.
an
You could fall
image.
asleep on that couch. Just people in morph suits just hanging out, like, what's up?
Look at all this
You got
like,
used to that for a
food and
while.
stuff. Everyone's just like sitting there on their phone, just everyone's watching, just waiting.
So here's some of the
That's a great image.
here's some of the documents that Alex was talking about.
Yeah, like in this case, right? So this is we had 16 points where in this building we had to suspend things like truss for lights or for cameras, right? The camera shots you saw where you could place things in a room, or when you see them flashing and you're picking a room, all of those shots are cameras that had to be suspended so that we could cut between them without getting crew in them and worrying about where the wireless operators were walking. So we had 16 points where we hung things or curtains, right? Like we had that whole upper floor curtained with big heavy drapes that you couldn't see that it was there, so it would be a surprise for the last day. So this kind of we make these different drawings that lay out where things go, so that as local crew comes in or hired crew and whatnot, they all kind of have the same thing to work off of, and we kind of write all of our changes on them as we go. There's lights and video, and each one kind of has their own to keep track of.
That was not rotated right.
I think we have a video too of the lighting. When we design the lighting for something like this, it all gets put into a simulation program. Where it actually shows all the different types of lights that are going to be available, and this little recording kind of shows it, but you can kind of see this is the party sequence is designed in this simulator program. So you can see kind of the rough layout of how the rooms are. It's somewhat representative, and the lights are laid out where they would be on the different points that are hanging in the air. And so then we can design these sequences and get an idea of what they look like. You can see a human analog in one of the rooms as well. And kind of see what we'd be working with and know where to lay things out before you're on site. Because once you're on site and you put something in place, it's a lot harder to move it. So we try to simulate a lot of that as best we can.
And I think I mentioned this to you guys on the actual set, but I'll say it to you guys here. When this idea was just kind of floating around like years ago, just for fun, you know when you close your eyes and you see like you see the thing that you, let's say you're working on like a project or you're writing something or you're making like content or whatever. When you close your eyes and you see this like movie in your head, right? I saw this set is what I saw. And it's crazy to actually see it happen. Your like imagination, your like actual visual of exactly what you see in your head. It's bizarre to see it like actually play out. Like when I play, the people are doing the question marks to me. You guys don't play movies in your head? Who doesn't do that? You don't like you can't like just see like a movie right now, like play it right now? Yeah. Am I insane? What's happening?
They're saying you hallucinate. Yeah.
It's not hallucinating. I'm imagining the set. About what
It's
hallucination?
It's a vision.
Yeah.
No,
All right. Anyways, so when I closed my eyes and I saw this set, this is like what they built is what I was seeing, and that's incredibly rare. That never happens. Where is this?
This is at the airport.
Oh, it's at like the airport.
Yeah.
I was like, where the fuck are we?
Yeah, this is not.
The airlines aren't very happy with the amount of stuff we move.
Yeah, we'll move 20 or 30 road cases at a time, just like through the luggage system. Sometimes it'll show up on a second plane because they couldn't get it to hit weight on the first plane. But it's part of the deal. That's how it works.
This is the rest of the set. Yeah, imagine.
Do you have the render from the day 1, 2, 3, like the color render? Yeah, see if chat noticed one thing about the day 1 render too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
One with the horse in it.
The horse is not in day 1.
No, but this one, yeah.
Somebody said chat can't
Something's upside
rotate
down.
a cube in their head.
I was going to point out too in these renderings, a couple things here that are interesting, right? So the giant TVs are there. They were placed in a specific spot so that no matter where the characters are moving in the house, they could always see chat. So those giant monitors, one of them was chat, and the other one was what was going out on the feed. So they could always see, no matter which character and where they were. There was always a view from each room. But the other thing here that's kind of interesting is this was supposed to be the model for day 1 with just the middle rooms, and the yard actually wasn't part of it, and that was added later. That was an on-site change, kind of based on the logistics of how would things get into the house and what were we interacting with. So just kind of that's like an example of something that those kind of things just happen on. Like doesn't matter how much you plan in advance, right? We needed that logistically, so these pieces moved around, and we had the yard accessible in the first day.
I think that was the night before change.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Like, I think those curtains were already up there or being tied on at the point that it was like, nope, we want the yard visible, right? So.
Well, because there was a visual with, seeing the whole, that side view with the kind of cutaway view. And we sat there, we were just kind of staring at it like, if I'm coming in through the left side of the door, it kind of has to, we can't just like have it be, oh, look, it's just outside. And like, I just appear in the door, right? Into the kitchen, into the living room. So it's good that we actually had a solution to it.
I guess one last little pre-production thing that we'll talk about before we move into the next segment are these gobos that we had made. These are kind of cool.
That's so cool.
They're a little hard to see. You may not have seen them on the stream, but you can see them here. We took nice photos of them. But yeah, they're metal discs that are punched and they're laser cut basically to show an image. In this case, we have the germ and the logo here. You can actually see a good amount of detail on it. And then those moving lights that we have, we could position them to color and location and all that. So we could actually light Coinbase with their blue and Twitch with their purple, and then Jeremy's logo with the green and blue. And so at various points, we didn't show the corner camera a lot because of the context of the rooms we were showing, but there was a few occasions, or like the monologue when Jeremy talks about Coinbase and whatnot, where you could kind of see their logo and their color, and it adds a lot of character to the house and what you're seeing too.
It was awesome.
Nick, is there anything else you want to talk about in pre-production before we move on?
Maybe the glass a little bit. That would be about it for the window.
Oh yeah,
if you want to talk about that.
Sure.
That's like one of my favorite gags of the whole week. So
let me queue up a video here. So those of you who watch the stream, which hopefully is everyone, the Jeremy going out the glass is real 100%. And we're going to show you some footage.
We got proof.
We have real proof that it's really real.
Not a stunt double, not pre-recorded, that happened live.
absolutely live. So first, I'm going to show you. We had a sheet of the glass show up broken to our set, and so we had a piece to test with because we had this broken piece. And so here's a short clip of Nick testing what it's like to punch through this glass. By the way, at least Nick, you could. I think you were terrified to do this because none of us had interacted with the glass at this point.
Yeah, I had
this
no
is not
idea.
real glass. Don't do this at home. It's
No.
not real glass. Don't punch a glass.
This is Hollywood glass.
Yeah.
Made by a studio in Culver City that like this is all that they do. They're like the only manufacturer of this glass for television. It's very expensive. Don't do this at home.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
not
Yeah.
certain how it was going to go, but it like explodes, right? With like any real energy put into it. Like you can break it and it like breaks into large pieces, but with like any real energy, it just explodes out. But it explodes safely, right? All the edges are pretty dull. The worst thing that happens is you get a little bit of like dust on your fingers that looks kind of like glitter. But before I punched that, I did not know how it was going to break.
So
Which was kind of worrisome, but we had info. We could actually tell Jeremy, like, "Yep, it's safe, it's good." Like,
uh,
And actually, the fact that the gloves were picked on the second day, I remember sitting there thinking,
Good job,
I put
Jack.
on like big rubber. Yeah, like you guys didn't even know, but
Yeah.
you like protected my hands, which was like important, right? Hands, forearms, wrists, that whole thing. So
before we
a thing that's
man.
go ahead.
I was going to say, before we show the clip, I have some clips of Jeremy practicing. This is the very first time that he practiced. There's no glass in the window. This is just him flying through the window.
So I don't have to jump very high.
No. Yeah, let's do it.
He is right about this, though. Maybe. I gotta be aware not to hit this.
Yeah, there's only one rule. Don't jump too far. That's the
Guess
only
what
rule.
happened?
Yeah.
Foreshadowing, yeah.
So it actually isn't super fancy. You can see some of the construction here. There's actually just some scrap trim pieces that is used with like some spacer trim to hold the glass. The big thing about this is when we thought about logistics of the show, we didn't want the glass to be broken before he gets to it, right? But we also knew that it takes a period of time to install this glass. And we didn't want it to be like held in with brackets or anything that would be disturbing. So it just like the two pieces slotted into those wood pieces of trim. You can actually see a great view here of kind of the different glass things. But we knew we knew it took about 20 minutes to install it, and we didn't want to interrupt the stream whatsoever. So it had to survive the whole stream. So like the whole time I'm like, is it going to survive? And I was like, nobody can touch this wall. Like nobody can slam that door while the glass is in. I was kind of a jerk about it because like it would be kind of catastrophic to have a piece of glass like fall out before it was supposed to, right?
Well, that was the gag of the second day. So if we went into that room and the window was already broken, it'd be like, oh well, guess I'm getting thrown out at anyways.
Yeah.
Every time someone went in this room, the radio call was like, "Careful with the door! Careful with the door!"
Don't touch it.
Right.
Be careful. Be slow.
So we did a lot to make sure that this was safe. So obviously the Hollywood glass itself that breaks into dull pieces, but all of the trim is actually painted balsa wood, so that when his face inevitably goes through one of them, it just breaks into like as dust, right? It's not like an actual piece of lumber that would harm him as he goes through it. The top panel is actually not this Hollywood glass. It's a piece of very, very thin polycarbonate that would flex and like blow out if he ended up, if Jeremy jumped too high and ended up going through that top piece, it would just leave.
But incredibly, he didn't. He completely cleared. He completely cleared the second. Like his body, the entirety of his body goes between. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see in a second. All right, let's play the clip.
I mean, you're dealing with a professional.
I'm sorry, I thought I had it here. Here we go. Okay. So, well, I guess first we'll show the front ways, how you saw it at home. Right.
So this guy is in this movie suit. He is huge. He's like scary in real life.
Yeah, he's enormous.
Yeah.
Here, well, I'll play it back one more time.
He was a big guy.
No.
That fire in the window is such a great touch.
You hit that perfectly, like super perfectly.
Now here's the proof. This is it right here. I took this footage because we started the scene and I realized that nobody was back there, and I was like, we have to have this. So here we go.
Brutal.
You can hear me say,
Yeah,
"You
he was
good?"
great.
And he gives me the thumbs up. Here, I'll let me see if I can.
Play the end of it.
Yeah, I'll just play the end of it again one more time.
Remember, the rule is don't overshoot the mattress.
It makes such a great sound too. That's not like sound effects either.
That's not
People are like,
Foley.
oh wow, what a great sound effect.
Yeah, right there.
I did get like a few small abrasions here and like maybe like here and here, but like down like on the forearm, but nothing that would, I wasn't bleeding or anything. I was fine.
Right.
Scraped, a little scrape.
All
It was
right.
unbelievable. I remember when you showed that to me, you were like, hey, what do you think about like this concept? And like, I was going to put the balsa wood and I'm just like, I think I just started clapping. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
By the way, I don't think
It was
Chat knows
perfect.
I don't think Chat knows what they started with. Well, so this is, he can't tie his own shoes because he's wearing the gloves. But if you go to this one too, on the day
And I
that
demanded it.
Chat chose the cargo shorts, Jeremy, do you want to talk about the cargo
Oh, the
shorts?
the
situation?
cargo shorts.
Because I don't think people realize what
Okay.
they did by picking cargo shorts.
Yes. So here's the deal. So those are not the cargo shorts that you guys actually picked. There was cargo pants and cargo shorts. Now the problem was the cargo shorts were like a size 28 waist, and I could not fit in them. It was inappropriate, like actually inappropriate. It was not cool. So the hope was that there's no way you guys are going to pick cargo shorts because that's like boring. You're going to pick the flamingo. You're going to pick the duckies. It was a boring choice that you were never going to pick, right? But when you picked it, it was like, what do we do? Because I can't stream like this. This is actually not okay. It was like skin airtight to my body, and we had to. Right when I was told, right, somebody ran backstage and was like, "Hey, it's the cargo shorts." We're just like, "Shit." Get the cargo pants and cut the cargo pants into shorts because I'm not wearing those for like 4 or 5 hours. No way. So if you look at the bottom of the shorts, they're like all frayed up and like very, very clearly cut with a pair of scissors. Almost inappropriate, almost like TOS inappropriate. So glad we avoided that.
Yeah, so I run backstage. I have a belt pack that I would put on that has his ears so he can hear us talking, and it has the microphone that he was using. And what I see is 2 production assistants on the ground with scissors just going crazy on the cargo pants, trying to turn them into shorts. So yeah,
We might actually have a picture of that. I think somebody took a picture of the
I'm
two
sure
next to
there-
each other
yeah.
for like fun.
I'll see if I can
Forget
find
that.
that over the break.
So there you
So
go. Fun story.
we at this point we're going to take a quick break. It's sorry, chat. It's going to be an ad break, and we could talk a little bit about ads and sponsors a little bit later because they were the only reason that we could do this show. But we're gonna go to ad break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk production with our video director Bobby, with Kryken, our game director, and with everybody's fan favorite Fart Mark. Fart Mark is joining us tonight, so look forward to that. But yeah, we'll see you in just a few minutes after these short messages.
Thanks, chat.
So our company Ghost Commander's role on this production was not only building and designing the extension itself and the different interactive modes like buy mode and placement mode and the different poles of live mode that played out throughout the stream, but we also ran the thing live. So on set, we would basically push each poll via our computers to everyone watching. We compile the results and then display the results as well, and then relay what won and what should happen at what time to the rest of the crew. So things like, how Jerma should react in a given situation, we would then turn into different poll events and different options. Some of those we build on the fly based on what viewers liked and wanted. And then we push that out to everyone and then, gather the 30,000 replies and then relay to the rest of the team what needs to happen on stage.
Wait, professional fartographer?
Photographer, yes. I am operating all the microphones, so any audio you hear on stream comes from this console and this laptop. Wireless microphones are all set for all the actors, and I have this wonderful soundboard with a variety of fart selections to fit the scenario. So I can do one of those, I can do one of those. If I want something a little wetter, I can kind of go in that direction. So I am making the sound magic happen here.
I'm gonna get into that room as fast as I can because I don't want to have to cross.
So this is our video production trailer. So we're taking all the camera feeds into this trailer and distributing them out throughout the entire set. We're feeding different TVs, monitors, the live stream. We've got some graphics computers doing a bunch of stuff to create this awesome game, and this is where all the video stuff happens.
9, you're working right now. Can you push it slowly to his face?
I want to be free.
Nice, beautiful. Ready 10. Keep pushing. Ready 10. Take 10. Ready 9 again. Tight as you can on his face. Ready 9.
No, I don't want him to get
Take 9. Ready 10. Take 10. Ready 3.
90K.
Take 3.
All right. I think that's a great intro for our next guests. We've got.
How are we?
Hi.
We're good.
I think. Is this working?
Yeah, it's working. We can hear you, Kraken.
Cool. Hi, everybody.
Bobby, how's it going?
How we doing?
Wait, Bob, are you still on set?
He's still there.
Yeah, I'm stuck in the trailer. Jake,
what the hell?
The Somebody please come.
Let him leave, Jake. He's been
It's
there
like a
so
weird,
long.
like, public access show.
Yeah, what the? Yeah, he's like this, slowly pulling up the mic to talk.
And we got Mark, Fart Mark.
Yes, I don't have any farts queued up right now, but I can work on that.
Oh, that's what an opportunity.
Where's the emoji instead?
What about a natural fart?
Yeah, I got the emoji. This is something Bobby insisted I leave set with. We had tried to hide this in his trailer, but he found it before he pulled out. So he was like, "No, this is going to the fart guy." So, I thank you immensely for that.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
So where do you want to start?
Yeah, well, why don't we talk a little bit about Kraken, let's start with you and talk about sort of Ghost Commander and the extension. And I have some clips of us like kind of ruminating on that stuff a few months ago when we did the onsite in Indiana. If you want to hear some of that, or if you just want to give an intro and then we can play some of that.
Yeah, I'll start with that. I'm Kraken. I'm a streamer. Been doing so for like a decade now, and started out, doing the usual streaming stuff, and then decided over the last 3 years that I wanted to make interactive streams more possible, not only for my own content, but for other content creators that I respect. And so I started a company with my co-founder Lauren, who is pictured in a lot of these as well, behind the computers with me. And we basically built a production company that builds interactive live stream experiences and the tools that can run them. And so I remember talking with Jeremy back at TwitchCon, whenever that last one happened in San Diego.
2017, 2016, maybe?
It feels like, we talked about the concept of a show like this, and we both got really excited about it. And back then it was kind of like, it would be nice, but like we need a lot of money and like a lot of other people to make it work. And then fast forward, however many years, and you guys ring me back up and you're like, well, we have the money, we have the opportunity. Would you guys like to build an interactive show with us? And I was like, you know what? Why not? And so we flew out all the way to Indiana with you guys without signing anything yet. We're just like, we're going to trust it's going to work out. And so
no documents, no signatures, just get there.
And that's what happened.
The live phase is just anything that's happening that's not any of these other things. It's like so we talked about potentially people being able to click on stuff or being able to where I'm thinking is, because we can either have them click on actual objects and be like, do this, or we can have like a drop-down menu of all the things that are available. You know what I mean? Like, oh, actions that are available, right? Let's say you have, get behind the scenes. He's getting behind the scenes. Perfect. You mean do something? Oh, right. So what I think?
What am I doing?
Think this is okay, but I would probably consider redoing the whole thing. It's not funny.
Oh yeah, we had the bit going where you're just going to be awful.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot. We were going to do a routine where. No, that didn't make this at all. I'm realizing, I'm being a dick here. We were going to have the behind-the-scenes show be me being an asshole to everybody for an entire, 3 months. I didn't even use it. This is the only footage we took of me doing that.
I was watching your face as you're watching this right now going, why the fuck? What? That's me?
Why am I what's wrong with me? That's so funny.
Yeah, so basically, what happened here is a pretty good example. Like you can see on the whiteboard, we just had a big brainstorm where Jeremy would be like, here are the sort of touch points I want. Like I want the moment where, the movers come out and deliver the item that chat picked for. I want the moment where chat picks for me to go to the bathroom 80 times and I have to keep doing it. And from there, we kind of extrapolated this show format and the different stages of going to sleep and then buy mode happening, live mode being whenever he's awake, placement mode happening after that where they can pick where in the room. And then we also work backwards from how many days we wanted to shoot and how we wanted the set to kind of evolve over those. So, the small house, the buy upgrade, how much money we think that should cost, how we can incentivize chat to then spend that money to upgrade the house. All these things were, discussed and thought out ahead of time. And we were basically given this big list of would be nice, this is what we want. And then we went and built the extension over the remaining couple months, and then came back and ran the thing live with everyone. So it's crazy how much of this original brainstorm made it in. Now that I think about it, there was so much we had, and I think it was pretty much all there.
Yeah, and chat's
it's actually shocking.
It really is. And chat's actually picking out some pieces from this image that I put up that I probably should have looked at before I put it up. No, we're good. But I think it's a good time to actually talk about sort of sponsorship and how this whole thing came together. And so, Jeremy had this idea 2 years ago. I remember getting a phone call. I actually remember exactly where I was when he called me, because Jeremy calls me a lot and he has a lot of ideas, and a lot of those ideas are great. And a lot of those ideas are just completely insane. but that's what makes it work, right? And I remember him calling me with this idea, and my immediate reaction was, "This is amazing. We have to do this." And it was like over a year that we were looking for money to do this because we knew that we couldn't do it alone. This is an extraordinarily expensive production, as you can imagine. You saw there were well over 30 crew on site, plus all the pre-production, plus all the set, plus all the gear, plus all the travel. I mean, it adds up really quickly. And so finally, at the beginning of this year, Twitch became interested in the show, and we started negotiating with them, and we came to a deal which included a certain number of hours streamed, as well as a certain number of minutes of ads run at an ad density, which is why we're running ads on today's show, for instance, because it's part of that package deal. But Twitch really gave us an incredible amount of money to make this happen. And we also were then shopping for additional sponsors because we knew that the amount that Twitch gave us was not going to be enough to cover the entire show. It was a great start. It was enough where if Jeremy had to do it out of pocket, I don't think it would bankrupt him, but it definitely
no, not really.
but it was a good start, but we definitely were looking for more. And so we were shopping around, and some folks pointed out some potential sponsors that were there on the board at that time. None of which panned out, but it really was the addition of Ludwig less than 2 weeks before the show, and his idea about going to Coinbase and saying, "Hey, Coinbase, can you, is there anything you could do to help these guys out?" And they were unbelievable, just completely phenomenal in the turnaround time, in the flexibility that they gave us. I mean, they basically told us, "You don't have to do anything. Can you show our logo on screen, and can you shout us out once?" And that's the only content that we want to.
They honestly just wanted to have the show be good. That was incredibly surprising because there's been plenty of opportunities, and Community Jake's been around for quite a while now, the last at least 3 years. We've had potential opportunities in the past. I'm just saying that you've been around in the community, man. Well, I'm older than you. I got a lot of years on you. Don't worry. But in the past, there's been opportunities to do stuff before, but not at the level that they were involved, Coinbase, and they just wanted us to have a good show. They wasn't like, "Well, hold on a minute, you've got to have like 10 tweets. I need to hear about this. You need to do a full ad in the middle of we need to actually talk about like 7 or 8 ads." No, they just let us do whatever we wanted. And they just wanted to be part of it. It was awesome. It was the best experience with any type of sponsor I've ever had in 10 years. And that's why you never see sponsors on this channel, ever. Because I want to be able to do cool shows and not have to do something I don't want to do or be intrusive in the show. And I know that's a concern for a lot of people here too, is, oh, you're going to get a sponsor, but are they going to fuck up the whole show? And now all of a sudden it's going to be a shitty project. Now it's like it's taken over by a sponsor. I'm never going to let that happen. I never want that to happen. So finding sponsors that actually will work with us and care about the projects that we do, that's how it's going to be. And if we can't make something happen, if we can't work something out, then that's too bad, right? We'll figure something else out. But I want to kind of squelch some of those concerns too, that people think that, oh, here come the sponsors, it's over. It's like, no, we're going to be fine.
No, they made it happen. They really made it happen. At least I'm super grateful. So, all right, now that we've got that piece out of the way.
Also, one quick little thing too. Something very, very interesting to note is this was at the very beginning, when this was in the concept stage, this was going to be one stream. This was not going to be more than one stream. And we kind of had so much going on that it was like, maybe this should be 2. Maybe this should be 3. And then with Twitch being involved, we kind of had to figure out what kind of show we wanted. But this was only supposed to be one stream, like in the initial phase. Which is thinking about that now, that's impossible.
So much stuff.
Looking at some of these numbers and seeing like the estimation of, we'll have 2 to 3 like live mode polls a day. And like live mode, it'll be like 10 to 30 minutes for each day. And it's like, that didn't happen. We ended up doing like 12 every day. And there was like rapid fire, constantly things happening. And so it's funny, even our estimations here were like really modest as to what it actually ended up being. I don't know, there's a lot of really cool stuff here. I think like a time capsule of the evolution of thinking through how the show could work.
Yeah, the other cool one that I have here is about the timeline, about how this came together. This is when we met in Indiana on site.
Look at him in the corner. Look at Jerry.
It's such a great
Look at that
photo,
face.
Jerry.
Looks like the beginning of May, maybe. His calendar says
What's going on?
Was he having a stroke?
Yeah, Jesus.
What am I doing? Am I like asleep?
Chat, did I fix Jeremy's audio? Are you happy with Jeremy's audio? I was an issue with people. I think it was people
They say I'm coming out of both ears.
Yeah, people that had like who are on cell phones that have a single speaker. We've seen this issue before. I think I solved it. But yeah, people are happy now. Okay, good.
Okay.
So we met at AndyMark. I mean, this is still months into the production, but at this point now we're at a place where we've identified Ghost Commander Craig and his team as partners, and identified AndyMark as partners, and all that, and we came together for a site meeting at AndyMark in early May, and you can see that the plan here was like, okay, week by week, here's the check-ins, here's what we're looking for on these days, and here's our stream dates, and here's what's going to happen that week, and we pretty much stuck to this like within a week, I would say. So
something in the middle there is really interesting.
What's that?
There's one thing that I regret didn't happen. I don't know if you want to talk about it, Jeremy.
Is it? I think you're about to say it.
Mm-hmm. We originally had planned to test out the live mode, like chat voting for different things for him to do on the Catboy stream, where he would be a cat, and the concept was we would take the same tools we're already developing for the end, where we would be able to send him to like do different cat things, and it would be all done through chat and the extension. But because of the timeline, it didn't quite line up. But
we were going to get like a big scratching post back here. And actually, this is great behind the scenes stuff. I wanted to have a litter box. Remember, Jake? Remember I told you this, and you were like, "No, we're not doing a litter box."
He was so insistent on the litter box. It constantly talked.
I was going to go like shit in the litter box.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to do the show if I can't shit in the litter box. And we're like, please, Jeremy, we have so much other stuff we have to do. Please don't get banned this early on the cat thing.
There we go. we wound up swapping that with the hot tub stream. We wound up doing the hot tub stream instead, which featured Catboy, I think, to placate chat a little bit. But
yeah. Well, the tools are now built, so the potential for a Catboy stream down the line using the same Dollhouse stuff. I'm not saying that's
they're there. The tools are there.
Yeah,
I think chat wants it.
I mean, I can't shit in the litter box, so I mean,
if I can't shit in the litter box,
I was gonna those litter boxes with a dome. Like I wanted to just like go climb in one and like sit in it.
Like your little head.
Whatever. Yeah, just like stick my head, just stick it out. Like whatever. Jake, you guys tell me my ideas are good. Sometimes the ideas are bad. Maybe I get banned permanently from Twitch. That would have been bad right before the show. So yeah,
that would have been bad. Hey, we could try it now if you want.
Now the show's over.
No, now that the show's over, no.
All right, next up.
Call me a psycho.
I want to talk about the dream sequence. And Jeremy and I had a heated discussion before the show, and we've decided not to show the original dream sequence for
the rehearsal one.
The rehearsal one for risk of some TOS issues.
It was
with
so
it.
fucked up. It was just fucked up, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this. This is fucked up. We're changing this. This is too fucked up.
Yeah,
all right, I was on the toilet for like, okay. So let me paint the picture here. I'm just gonna describe it. Okay, I don't want to show it because it's weird and creepy, and I don't like it. So we originally were just gonna have me on the toilet. It's muted.
You can just mute it and play it in the background.
Originally, I was going to be on the toilet for the whole dream. And it was like, I'm just sitting there and I just hear like fart noises and like shit sounds. And by the way, there was a shit sound that during that segment where it was a real shit. It was real shit coming out of somebody's ass. I swear to God. And it was like so realistic sounding. And I was like, I don't want this to play right now.
Yeah, actually,
it was an extended.
Can we time out here for 1 second? I have a clip of you talking about that shit sound.
He's gonna play the fart sound. No, it doesn't matter. He's gonna play the shitting sound.
Yeah.
You guys should. Oh my god. So the audio guy has like a folder only for like bodily functions. And originally he was playing when I was sitting down, like realistic Foley of somebody shitting into water. And I'm just like, why are you that? We can't. That's not. It can't be used. It's horrible. It's like too graphic. It's super real. It's awful. It's like you can't picture it. Yes. And it's like you know that sound. That's like the public bathroom, washing your hands, and you just hear that fucking thing. No way.
What's the first thing on your list?
It's got like a fucking 100 of them.
You know what's funny to me too is that some of the bits like the Jerma would do during the show would to yell at the fart guy, and I had a hard time telling like when he was serious of he was really not wanting as many farts or like that was just part of the bit. So maybe Jerma, you can hop in on that.
Well, I mean, I think by the third day, I think I walked over to the audio station, and I was like, all right, we got like maybe one an hour, maybe like 2 an hour. I was like, maybe like 3 farts an hour. And you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, rationing farts.
All right, so
and he called out the fart quota numerous times.
Yeah.
Like,
when he was in the shower, and you're like, don't do it again, and he like kept sneaking out, and he's like, I'm done. And you like leave the shower. By the end of the show, I mean, I don't want to skip ahead, but like you could see like Jeremy was like so like you were just testing us. You're throwing random shit at the production team to see what they would deal with, like a wrench thrown into the plans. I don't know what got into you during that, but we were like, what is he doing with the cops?
Let's just see what they can handle.
Every single fart, you broke character and laughed.
The worst
because I can hear it. Like I can hear like what you guys didn't know is a lot of the sound effects. I hear them like in my ear, and like I can hear them. They're listening to them. So I'm just sitting there like in the shower, and I just hear this loud, just rip ass, and I'm just like, I wouldn't do that. So I just have to listen. I have to sit here and listen to it and react to it.
The worst thing that you did to us, Jeremy, and I think this is the appropriate time to talk about this. This is the production side of things. The worst thing that you did to us was during the party when you picked up the phone to call guests, and you said, "I'm going to call Edna." And then you turn to the camera and say, see how this fucks them up. And then continue going. Because Kit needed to be the police officer for the party to work. The only way the party would work is if Kit was the police officer. And so you knew that you were just going to fuck us up. And so that's why the party is paced like so weird. Because Edna comes with all the guests. And then we have to somehow figure out a way to get Edna to leave, and then he has to go and do the hardest costume change on the entire like thing that we can do. And he'll talk about that a little bit later, but like that talking about
Edna has a different voice.
Oh,
so
right.
You have to prep her voice because it's already been converted at that point back to being Kit's voice. Right?
Yeah. So thanks, Jeremy. That was fun.
But that also like gave way to like a conspiracy thread on Reddit I saw of like, is Edna dead? Because the last we see her, she's in the pool, and like Death and the Clown are talking about Edna, and then suddenly Edna disappears, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, they fucking killed her off camera." And like, hey, maybe it's a possibility now in canon.
I think another hard audio piece for Mark was the doorbell, because where he was positioned at front of house, you couldn't see the doorbell, and so people, especially Jerma, would sit there and like poke the doorbell. So I could see it on camera. I'd be like, doorbell. It was just connected.
The doorbell and the toilet flush, because where the audio booth was positioned, I had the front yard to my left and I had the toilet to my right. But because of the forced perspective, I didn't have line of sight to the doorbell itself or the toilet flusher. So, like, I'm trying to watch your camera shots to see when I'm going to hit the doorbell button or when I'm going to hit the toilet flusher. So, yeah, so you kind of see what this looks like here. That was tough. And then Jeremy starts fucking with me, and he's like, I didn't press it.
Yep. Well, because I'm starting to do, like, these incredibly animated movements before I flushed to give you, like, a second or two to be able to cue it up. Being like, oh, I'm going to flush the toilet. No! And I, like, reach down and touch it or whatever.
Showers was really nice.
All right, so
battle station.
I do want to talk about the dream sequence, though. I have a cool clip here of the dream sequence being incepted, and like sort of the idea behind it, and then I have the clip of the dream sequence playing out, but with the crew audio in ear, and you'll hear Bobby calling that. So
we just read.
Oh well, I think we just got we got a Ray from Ludwig. Ludwig, Ray coming in. Ludwig is in the building. Ludwig is here.
Should I find an embarrassing clip of Ludwig to play before we start here?
Where's the cowboy clip?
Yeah, I think I got one here.
There we go.
Oh, this is. I mean, it's not embarrassing. It's just.
That was awesome.
I can only do it live.
Yeah, dude, you did it like flawlessly.
I can only do it live. It literally sounded perfect.
We were sitting back there going, everyone had their mouth open. They were just like, are you kidding me? He's just doing this?
There we go.
I can't believe he did that perfectly live.
Everyone's a musician. Like every single person that touched that thing knew how to play, and we were like, we didn't know how to deal with it as a production team. We're like, I guess we stay on this for like the next 5 minutes.
We also didn't know that
one of our camera guys.
We didn't think it worked until we got it there.
One of the camera guys hopped on and played too.
All right, so let's go ahead and play this other clip. Yeah.
This is the crew call clip.
This is. I'm gonna play not the whole thing, but just a few seconds of the inception, and then we'll play the crew call clip.
Bad Dream was to me like Gladiator versus like Warrior or something, like fighting in the bedroom.
I see.
And like I could get up and be like, no, Julius Caesar, he got baited, he got you baited. I could go up and walking around and being a weirdo and like having a nightmare.
So
interacting with the dream is not no, like it's just I'm seeing it. So like they'll just be doing like something in the room, and I'm just either very happy about it or like I'm terrified.
So we were talking about a safe place to insert Kraken.
Right.
That's away from the rest of the tech and stuff.
Yeah.
So one thought that we had was around the dream scene, especially because if the idea is for them not to interact with you, it can't just be Ludwig. There has to be someone else.
Oh yeah, it would be too.
So can we, if you're either the gladiator or the warrior and you're the cowboy, can we just come up with two different scenarios for
Something I never thought I'd say.
I don't know if that makes sense.
What color are the morph suits?
Black.
I'm gonna say, what if we had someone with black morphs, so like moving his arms, like, do what I say, Jerma. That's right, go through the door now. You're like, what the fuck, I'm being controlled.
That actually is not a bad idea. It'd be a morph suit. But I want like a visual too, like something that's supposed to be there. Like
I want Ludwig as a cowboy as part of this.
I think that's good because there's no confusion on whether this is just the sexy nurse at night actually trying to.
Yeah.
Babe.
Okay.
You could even
Sexy nurse.
He kept saying that. He kept saying sexy nurse.
He kept calling us sexy nurse.
So here's the clip. That goes on, and to give chat an idea, the idea of the dream sequence was not something that you chose to happen, right? The dream sequence is just something that happened, but then you got to choose whether it was a good dream or a bad dream. And so if we let that clip play on a little bit longer, we talk about like, well, what would a good dream be and what would a bad dream be? Because we need both of those to work. Even though we were about 99% sure that you would choose a bad dream, which of course you did. So here again, we're not going to play the rehearsal one, but here's how it played out, and you can hear Bobby calling this as it plays out.
You want to reset, Scott? Give me another move. Ready, 13.
Kraken is ready.
And take 13.
Are we having a bunch of people in room 4 for the end of this bit?
Push and go to sleep.
Let me know when to send Kraken.
No, my question is, are the multitude of people that we're having in room 4 for the end of the bit, are they ready?
I can get them ready right now.
Yeah,
Jib is working. Are we going to sleep here?
Yep, go to sleep.
All right, stand by to sleep. In 3, 2, 1, go to sleep and kill his mic.
Okay.
Go dream sequence. The Kraken's coming your way, Jib. Ready, 13.
You can hear it.
Dissolve 13.
Get ready for Kraken's mic.
Open Kraken's
Once Kraken's
mic.
in the room, we slowly bring in lights.
Ready, 12.
Get that shot on 11. 11.
Ready, 11. Take 11.
Can we use the shotgun in
Ready,
the
12.
kitchen?
Take 12. Ready, 8.
Yeah, okay.
Hold getting type of
Take
dream.
8. Ready, 12. Ready, Jib. Ready, 12. Take 12. Ready, Jib. Take Jib. Jib
You're
is
saying
working.
NASA audio.
Type now.
Bad dream. Ready, 8. Take 8. Ready, 13 to follow him through the next room. Ready, 13. Take 13.
Can I start putting these people in the kitchen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
have them go between rooms 3 and 4 into the kitchen.
Are we showing them right now?
Don't show the kitchen. No.
Okay.
Do not show the kitchen.
They're just loading.
Ready, 8.
We need to get that TV thing out of the way.
Get what?
Ask Kraken to move the TV stand.
Ready,
There we
8.
go.
Take 8.
Poops himself.
Ready, 13.
He poops himself in
Take
front of
13.
everybody. No, I didn't poop my pants in front of
Kraken's mic's a little hot.
The jib is working.
I don't know what needs moved out of the way.
Nope, that's good. It's good.
Ready, 8. Go tight on him, 8. Ready, 8. Take 8. Ready, 13. Take 13.
Okay, is that it for the people going into the kitchen?
Ready, 8.
That's it. Nobody else goes in the kitchen.
Ready, room 4. Dissolve room 4. Ready, 10. I'm staying here on room 4.
How do we get out of here?
Take 8.
They put him back to sleep. We wake up in daytime.
Yeah.
Ready, 10. Take 10. Ready, 9.
He was supposed to fall asleep here.
Take 9. Kill the dream sequence.
He's supposed to go back to
Bring-
sleep, right?
I thought I was awake.
Sleep. Yeah, he should sleep.
And put him to sleep. In 3, 2, 1, put him to sleep. Ready, 7. Just go to sleep right there.
He's supposed to go to sleep right there.
Pass out. Just pass out. Oh. Ready, 7. Take 7.
He's just walking.
Ready, 13. Take 13. And stand by 7 again. In 3, 2, 1, dissolve
Perfect.
7. Kill his mic.
Mike's killed.
And we're going buy mode here.
Nope, we're going
Nope.
into daytime.
Go daytime.
Wake them up.
What are we doing?
We go daytime.
Okay, stand by for daytime and camera 13. In 3, 2, 1, daytime. And wake him up. Ready, 8.
That little bit at the end there, when he calls for daytime and wake him up, it just feels like that moment in the Truman Show when Christoph is like, "Okay, ready daytime, everybody to zero, everybody to their initial places or whatever." It's just like so bizarre.
Well, originally, because we were trying to figure out, because Kraken was essentially back, just handling a ton of shit during. I'm sorry, I bumped the mic. Ton of shit during the whole show, and we were like, how do we get him on camera? Because we wanted him on camera, obviously. And one of the ideas was actually to have him be like in a moon, right? Just like looking down, like with this like inside of a moon, like giving some like commands or something. But we didn't want to. We didn't want to like break the immersion, I guess, of the show, because it was like, oh, we'll show everybody like backstage and like all the screens and stuff. And I think I was like, I don't want that. But originally, you were going to be like in a moon.
Yeah, I'm glad it turned out this way. I think crossing that like fourth wall into the actual room as this like disgusting Jesus ripoff character, it's like it was a nice little like transition, and that still felt in the world, but also being an absolute fever dream.
Can we talk about how you had to wear that costume all day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I didn't have time to
Picture of
change.
him doing that.
At least we got
Yeah.
photo.
So since my duties had me like there until the final like 30 seconds before I appear on camera, the entire day I just shoot it in a toga with no like pants or shoes on.
His hair is sitting on the table next to him.
Yeah,
Like he just got out of the hospital.
everyone was like, "You're out, you're
driving that car too.
You just got out of surgery," and I'm like, "Shut up! I'm supposed to be God." And I like brought this wig around. I'm like, I have to look like God.
You were
It's so
telling us at
fucking
dinner
Alex,
that
look
you
at
had
that
to
look.
drive the car a certain way
I don't know
because,
what look I'm
because of
giving.
your outfit.
Oh yeah, no, this is like, I mean, I'm a larger than average man, and when I was in that little car, this toga was like way up to my waist, and I had like no pants on, so I was like, I had to like hunch over, and then like I just like curved my back like an absolute like caveman gremlin on the way in, because I didn't want anyone to like upskirt me as I'm like riding in on this like clown car. It was a very surreal place to be, but I pretty much blacked out the entire time I was on stage. I did not remember what I said or when. I was just kind of feeling it out. That's like, right.
By the way, the audio that you hear in that clip is not specific to that clip. That calls like that for every camera, and the stuff that all the movers that have those headsets on, all of us that you've seen like in these photos that have those headsets, we're hearing that the whole time. Bobby's probably very tired by the end of the day, but that's how those are called, because it helps coordinate everybody like that's moving. That's why there's very few times where you actually see a camera person in another shot or the jib arm or something, because Bobby coordinates that with having to get the jib out of the way and everything. But you can talk more about this, but how it goes the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much talking for the entire stream, just kind of directing cameras, helping Mark out on the audio side for what, because he's kind of looking down a lot at his audio console. So any cues I can give anybody on the crew. Oh, and this scene here was probably my personal favorite.
Take 8, ready 13. Take 13.
What are we doing here?
Ready 8. Take 8.
Is he
Ready 13.
How long until the burglars are ready?
Take 8.
What are we doing here?
Keep pushing into his face if you can. Take 8. All the way tight 13 if you can. Ready 13. Set 13. Dissolve 13.
So, like, as this was going on, I didn't know that Uncle Ted was going to make an appearance, and we kind of ended the day here.
None of us knew.
I've seen.
No, he just started doing this.
Yeah, Uncle Ted sits next to me, the person who played Uncle Ted, and he literally takes his headset off. He's like, "I've got an idea," and he just literally runs away from his desk that he's supposed to be at. And I was like, "I don't know where he's going or what we're doing."
Is burglar ready?
Yeah, so right here, I told Mark to kill all the mics. We go to night, and then all of a sudden I see this motion on 8, and I'm like, oh god, we got to go back to this. We got to go back.
Which one is it?
Set 8.
Which one is it?
Set 8. Dissolve 8.
I need the line clear. Josh, is burglar ready?
Not quite yet. I need 30 seconds.
So fucked up.
Okay.
Ready 13.
So we're not going to go to buy mode.
Yep, we're doing burglary.
Just let him do this. Ready 8.
So the audio in the scene was weird because Jerma's mic was active.
Are we not getting audio of this right now? Are they all cleared?
Right, yeah, because Bobby told me to clear the mic, so
Doing some weird dissolves. 13 8. Just hang in there.
Milton had his mic on, and the camera setup was maybe 20 feet away from that blue bedroom. And it was a direct feed from a camera into that TV, and the TV audio was on.
Perfect.
So the audio was coming from Milton's mic and the mic in that camera out of the TV into Jerma's mic.
All right.
So it created this like weird echo effect that kind of worked for the scene. It's sort of a happy accident how that worked out.
Yeah, and that was, by the way, that segment there, that was done within like overnight. After the second stream, we were talking about like, oh yeah, we could maybe have the TV there. That might be funny. They set up this entire like back studio back where the furniture is. They did it in like 4 hours. It was like, what the fuck? It's here. It's already done this like elaborate thing back here. How did you guys even remotely do that in less than like 3 or 4 hours?
That was Bobby.
That's Bobby. That's all Bobby.
Jerma asked, and we delivered.
Do you have any pictures? Do you have any pictures of like of that?
I don't know.
It was kind of funny to me because I kept going to Jake, and I was like, Jake, I'm just not happy with this setup. It doesn't look the way I want it to look. And then Jerma comes in, and he's like, this is amazing. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm done here. And we went with it, so it ended up working.
It was insane.
I can try to show it. I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try it.
Studio.
Hang on, wait, let me. What are we?
Yeah.
That's the setup. See if it'll focus. Come on.
I need to probably get my face out of it.
Well, you get the idea. There's like a little stage under that deck and a camera, and so it would look. The video was piped from there onto the TV in that one room, so it would look like it was a live.
Pushing in 13. Nice and slow. 8.
Yeah, and one of the things I definitely wanted to put back there was a monitor so they could see themselves and frame themselves appropriately so that they could see what they're going to look like on the TV. And without that whole Ted scene would have they wouldn't have been able to see like where they were and whatnot. So it ended up working out really nicely.
In this picture, you can see Mark's perspective better too. He was talking about what he can see and not see for the sound effects. This is the picture from his station. So.
Yep. And it was like my focus was back and forth between that launch pad with all those buttons with the sound effects and the faders as people were coming and going. Because I'd say probably 90 to 95% of that entire thing was improv. So like normally with theater, you have a script you can follow as characters come and go and sound effects cues. This was all happening in real time with no script. So it was a lot of reactivity and doing things as they happened. Mics were getting passed around. I didn't know who had what mic. Josh, the stage manager, did a fantastic job of saying this mic is coming out on this
Big
character.
shouts out to Josh.
Trying to keep us all in the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh totally killed it.
And not only were you having to worry about everybody's microphones, and we had everybody mic'd up in the different rooms with the shotguns, but you're pumping sound effects through. So you have to worry about that. You have to worry about the sounds. You have to worry about when to put a fart in, because that's incredibly important. When to put in the real diarrhea sounds. That's a lot to do.
Mark also has. He's also got a comm headset on, so he's really mixing in one ear with like what was it? Ended up being like 8, 9, 10 mics. So plus 6 more shotguns. So it's really impressive what Mark was able to do with the front of house situation.
Yeah, I remember
And there was a little bit of an audio discrepancy between what I heard in my board and what actually went out over the air. Like some of the mics were a little bit louder over the air than they were in my ear. There's some gain issues to work out between, because the video and audio passed through like 8 different pieces of equipment before it went out to Twitch. It was kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I've got a clip. Oh, go ahead.
On the so after we wrapped the second show, and we knew the party was coming, I remember like talking to Mark, and we kind of had, I think we were like driving home to the hotel, and we were like, "So you ready for that party?" And he's just like, haha. Like we were aware of the amount of people that we had to focus on, all with their own mics that you had to like cut between. I think it turned out amazing with what sort of information and and Bobby for cutting between all those different shots in the party, like being able to see the cutaways of like Edna in the pool or the Grim Reaper and the clown talking in the corner, and like have it all feel like a vibrant, living party scene was fantastic to watch.
While also trying to keep the story coherent. And that's where Bobby and Alex and everybody were fantastic at saying, okay, we got to listen to what Ludwig and Randy are saying right now. So, make sure their mics are hot. So it was everybody on the team just kind of came together, and having that communication, having those headsets was key to keeping everything focused and where it needed to be.
Yeah, to jump on what
it was a logistic hell.
Yeah, after the fire scene, I felt like it was kind of chaotic because the fire took place for pretty much all 3 rooms plus the front yard. And then the fight was happening, and then the other guys were still playing with their fire, doing their little gags in the other room, and tosses Jerma out. There's a thumbs-up shot that we got that turned out to be great. And then the next day, I was like, okay, there's going to be 20 more people in the house. Like, this is going to get crazy. But it ended up working out great, and just the communication for everybody on headset was just super key to making this show successful.
So I want to show this clip real quick. This is the party scene, and
from the table's perspective.
From the table's perspective. So you're not going to hear the crew audio over the comms. You're just going to hear what it sounds like in that room, because I think it's a pretty unique perspective.
Hey, how are you? Not a lawyer. Nice to see you. Hey, there. Hey.
That's wild to look at from his perspective after it's all over.
Lights look totally different too.
Hey. I guess we could just throw the impromptu party that I didn't know I was having.
And I got to give a lot of props to the camera guys that we had. They were really selling the main action as this whole party was going on between the jib and the 2 wireless operators. So we really didn't miss any of the little small gags here and there. I'm sure there's a couple we missed, but there's a lot going on at one time in 6 different rooms.
Also, don't forget, anytime that Edna appears, the other fun part for camera and for audio is that people can't get near Kit with that microphone, because then you hear the Edna voice on. So when chat would vote for, you guys voted at one point to have Jeremy dance with Edna, I believe. But that's really hard to actually pull off for us, because they can't talk when they're dancing easily, because you would hear Edna's voice amplified with Jeremy's voice, right? So there's all these little pieces where a simple decision causes four other things for us to watch.
I think there was a few times when I actually came through. I came through Kit's mic a few times, and it was just like it sounded insane. So I tried to try to react to with just my face. It was so hard to do.
This was so great.
Yeah,
that's an insane picture.
I love that.
For that piece, the Edna thing, I think typically when Kit's using that mic, it's a streamer mic, a mic that's really, he's the only one in the room also. So like when you put it onto a lapel and put that effect through it, you never know what you're going to get. And so as he moved around, his voice level changes, so you can kind of hear the level of Edna change throughout the scene. But Mark did a really good job of riding that fader and riding those effects. So shouts out to Mark on that.
So we're trying to get Ludwig connected right now. He's having a little issue, but we're getting him sorted. So in the meantime, I want to play one more crew audio clip because it seems like chat really likes those. So we'll play another one.
Chat says album cover.
Oh, speaking of album covers, I have an exciting announcement. I don't even think Jeremy knows this.
What is it?
We submitted it today, and in about 7 days' time, you should be able to listen to the Buy Mode soundtrack on Spotify.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
So yeah,
It's original music. People may not realize
actual
that.
dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, people probably don't realize.
Address myself to that every day.
The amount of times we heard that on set and while live is
And then
staggering.
you
I have to imagine
when people are playing it too.
Yeah.
It's like being at a ride at Disney, right? They play like the same 2-minute audio clip of
It's you! Oh, welcome! We need to get you into that seat. You're gonna fight the rebels!
right, and it just plays all day.
Yeah.
yeah. People are asking about DMCA. Yeah, that piece was commissioned for this stream. All the rest of the music that was used was royalty-free music that is licensed through various regular royalty-free sort of sites, but the main piece that's used during the buy mode, that's used during the character selector, that's used during the loading screen, that piece was made custom for us. So
And I don't think we have a
share it.
single muted piece in any of the VODs because it was all either custom or otherwise. So that's why you get to see the whole thing. In
That
its
is
entirety.
remarkable. Considering how many sound effects and little audio files were played, that's remarkable. So
We paid for it all.
Jake gave me a week to find those. He was like, "Hey, you have a week. Find a bunch of sound effects and music. We have 12 hours of stream to kill. Find some music." And I'm like, "Okay."
Good luck.
Yeah.
Was there one other?
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and play this scene. I love this scene.
The lawyers.
This was one of Jeremy's birth child scenes. So yeah, we talked about the scenes that were sort of set up ahead of time. The DIY room obviously was something that we needed all the props in place for it to happen. In terms of how it happened was totally up to chat. How those walls got painted, whether or not he actually discovered the safe was up to you as well. But in the end, that wall comes down, he finds a safe, and inside the safe is the money, and we needed an army of lawyers ready to make that happen because his concept was, he calls one lawyer to settle it, and then that lawyer calls another lawyer, and that lawyer doesn't know what to do, so he calls another lawyer, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how that wound up. There was an alternate storyline too, I think, where Kit and Jeremy got married, and so we would have called the priest to have them get married in the middle of that scene, but that didn't wind up panning out. So anyway, I'll play back what you saw on stream and along with the crew audio.
To add to this too, just this is important for. So when the call the bear, I opened up this door here that you see of to the kitchen, and there's just a guy with a bear head. He wasn't in the whole costume. So I'm just like, how the fuck are we going to get him in here? It's just he just has his head on. So he's like, he was essentially, they weren't prepared for that at all. So I was imagining he might have come into the house and started attacking people, but it's just him with the head. He scared the shit out of me. He's literally just sitting in the little cubby here, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I want to speak to that real quick.
Fancy bear.
It was the feral fancy bear.
So Jeremy didn't know that was going to happen because originally this was meant to play out and the bear thing wasn't an option. But as we're running all the polls and running the stream on our side, on the extension side, we see chat just blowing up with call bear. They're sick of these lawyers. They need a stabilizing violent force to return normalcy. So they just wanted the bear in because we already showed them that you can call bear for the gorilla. So they know it's an option. They know that they can call bear. And so we're like, we have to call bear.
I can give me 5 seconds.
Okay. It could even just be the head.
Actually, I'm gonna back it up. The beginning call of this is do we have the bear ready? And the bear costume change is the hardest costume change of all because it takes almost 15 minutes to get in the costume. It's ridiculous. And so of course the bear is not ready. So here's the call, and Josh is desperately going, "Fuck you guys!" Right? So here we go.
We want us to call the bear. Is there any way we can get?
7.
Can we get a bear just to peek in? And then leave?
I can give me 5 seconds.
Okay.
It could even just be the head, right?
Right.
Yeah, tell him to come. You go in between the rooms and peek out the window or something. Or
Yeah, just walk by and be like.
The amount of times Bobby says 5 seconds.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, get him ready.
There's no.
I need 20 seconds. What window do you want him
Only
in?
20 seconds. Come on. Wait, no, we're gonna run the poll now.
Ready, 10, take 10.
Into the kitchen.
Into the
Go back
kitchen
to Jerma.
from.
Not yet. Not
8
yet.
on Jerma, 8
Oh,
on Jerma.
I got it.
Ready, 9, take 9.
This is gonna be tight with the bear.
All right, take your time. I'll let you know when you're good.
Bear coming into the window, 9, be ready.
Not yet. Do not bring them yet.
So, copy
We're
that.
not gonna go in yet. We're just making sure we can fit.
Okay, he's gonna call now. The viewers voted for him to call Bear. Let him know.
Okay, I can't see.
Yeah, by the way, there was a huge concern. That bear head is so big, we didn't think it would fit between the walls. Like, for him to stick his head through the window. So that's what that call was
Which would
about.
have been hilarious. If he had gotten stuck, in there, it would have been worth turning the camera and just showing it. Like if he actually got stuck there.
You're here, the monitor, so I just
bring Jed's mic
go
up.
on the bear.
No, do not go on the bear. Do not go on the bear. He's the call first.
Ready, 10, take 10. Ready, 10.
All right, send Bear now.
Take 10.
Okay, here comes.
10's up, ready, 8. Ready, 11, take 11.
He just paid 7 grand.
Ready, 10, take 10. Where's the bear coming to again?
He's through the window.
All right, ready, 13, take 13.
Bear noises.
Ready, 8, take 8. I don't think so. I think it's just his head.
It's not head, it's head only.
It's his head only, Blair. He can't come inside. Ready, 8, take 8. Can we get the bear to poke through one more time? Ready, 10, take 10.
Yeah, I need just watch. I need 15 seconds.
Yep.
Someone should stick
Poor
their
Josh.
hand up fist bump.
We really wanted the fist
Give him
bump.
a fist bump, camera guy.
Give him a fist bump.
Yeah, he could be good. This is his bare hand.
Give him the fist bump.
Ready, 10, take 10.
Yeah, we were just going to get the camera guy to stick his hand through.
Do we put the fist in the window now?
Stick the fist. Yeah, do it.
No, it's gone. Ready, 3, take 3.
We were trying to get you a fist somewhere.
Bear, go, ready, 10, take 10.
All right. I think that's going to...
If it was a human hand, that would have been funny.
I was trying to tell him, I was like, go now, it doesn't matter, send someone. But it was too late.
Well, also, wasn't he
wireless
dressed...
camera operator just?
Yeah, a little camera
He had like, didn't he have like the gladiator costume on?
Yes.
Because he was like ready to be the gladiator, right? So it was like this bear head with like a gladiator. It looked like a Fortnite skin.
Honestly, I think they should have sent him in anyway. I think like just a bear in a gladiator outfit to like defend you against the lawyers still would have been a very worthwhile scene. But that's just
Well, the real payoff would have been if the bear wasn't the lawyer.
Yeah, bear comes in as a lawyer.
Asking if we needed the standing bear or the scary bear, because he claimed it took like 30 seconds longer for one or the other. And so he just, we want standing bear or fancy bear, standing bear or fancy bear. There was some great calls on comm.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to see out of that suit that the first time when the guy that plays the bear came out to rummage through the trash, he left, but he was crawling and he couldn't see, and we had to go get him out of the drapes because he was crawling through he was like stuck in the drapes that surround the set because he can't see where he is. So we had to go get him out because he's just in the drapes like lost.
Do you have any shots from
I love how
when the bear mauls Kit as the like the car salesman and then tries to leave and like trips over and like his head starts falling off?
I think so. Yeah. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take another ad break, and when we come back, we have both Ludwig and Kit standing by for the third segment of our show. Huge shout out to Bobby and Mark. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys, Jerma, for this opportunity. Super unique and super fun. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Well, we'll be calling you guys again.
So after this break, we'll be back with Kit Boga, Ludwig, and Kryken. So thanks, everybody.
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? It's me, Fred!
What the fuck was that?
Didn't like that.
What?
We were looking for
When did that
something.
You did a Fred reference? Of
I don't know. We had the leftover helium tank. I needed something.
It was fucked.
Is my audio good? Can you guys hear me?
Your audio is fantastic. You sound great.
I love that. I downloaded vMix.
What's
I have
going
an
on?
entire operation in front of me. I have like 7 different overlays. But not much. I'm doing good. This is dope. I didn't realize that you producers you talked.
Like that I have lips
the entire time.
Yeah.
They
They
were
were
doing
talking and like directing. They were working. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot.
It didn't just happen. It didn't just happen. Yeah, we had to talk the whole time.
I thought it just kind of happened. I didn't know. Frank, and my apologies.
Yeah. Oh, apology accepted.
What are we looking at here? What is this?
Oh, I don't know.
Good driveway.
Let's play it. Let's see. I think this is a load of furniture coming in. I don't know why this is what's queued up, but
To random furniture.
Oh, this is fucking amazing.
Isn't that great?
Piece. Oh, beauty.
There's Ted's couch.
There's the
This
bar.
looks like somebody's moving.
I mean, we basically did several times.
But yeah, there's the bar. They put the bar in.
So, why don't we start with, I want to hear from Kit and from Ludwig and from Kraken about what your favorite scenes of the show were and why. So let's start with you, Kit.
Favorite scenes specifically. I loved, although I don't think Jerma did, so I feel bad saying this. I loved your love scene with Death. Partially because, if I remember correctly, you specifically said that you didn't really want it to go very long, and it did go very long.
I have that clip.
So-
Let me see if I can find it.
I just
Well,
like awkward
here's-
moments.
Well, the thing about that scene is they were supposed to cut away.
Yeah.
Am I echoing? Is that me echoing?
No, you're good. I hear you once. You might hear yourself in vMix.
Why am I hearing myself twice?
I hear you
Oh, yeah, I
faintly
do
a
too.
second time, but everybody has headphones on.
Ever had a stream open somewhere?
Wait, it might be me. Hold on, is it resolved?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
It was me! Sometimes
I was like, do I have my
like to
stream
throw in
open?
tech issues. I like to throw in some tech issues so I can solve them, and then I can be a hero.
Yeah.
So here's the moment, Kit, when we discuss that.
In on you guys. Do you want to be under the sheets or already up and adjusting your clothes?
Nice. How dramatic is that? Well, I was imagining being already up and in the room, not under the covers. Wow, that was exciting. Wow, I've never experienced that before. I feel like I almost died like 6 times. That was weird. What if Death was tired of you singing?
Smoking after? Yeah, Death was out.
What if they put a blur on the them kind of fooling around? That makes it too real. Yeah, that might be too much. Okay, that's too much.
Yeah, I think the idea was to shoot away from it and then just play the music, which I think is fine.
And Amelia showing up is a great reason to cut away.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we cut away to what are you doing? house. What is this? What's going on here? First you stand me up, then you get a new house, and now Death, I'd be like, wouldn't you? Like, what? You got a chance here? I'd be with this guy, Death. You would take it. And then I'll run away.
I'll remember the cat ears.
I'll just walk out and be like, don't call me, I'll call you. That's a good one.
Let's go.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so they didn't cut away. Yeah, I stayed under the covers. In fact, it was like I was in my ear. I'm hearing, "Hey, we didn't cut away. You got to stay under the covers." And I'm just like, "You cut away. You play the music. You cut away and you play the music like that." And they're like, "There's no music. We don't have it ready."
So I
think you got up a few times too, like because you didn't want to be.
They're like, "Go back to the bed. Go back to the bed." Or you have to go back because you're staying at the door.
There wasn't a good moment to cut away because you guys were just laying on top of like. You're just standing like laying like this, looking at the ceiling without interacting at all. There was no covers involved. It's just the most awkward, like sitting, like lying side by side. And then we're like, when are we supposed to cut away?
Well, because it was a small bed too, wasn't it? It was like a full, right? Or like a twin.
It was a queen.
It was like a little bed. It wasn't a queen. It didn't feel like it.
It was a queen.
It was just like
it felt like a full. I will say.
I have a confession to make. I'm making this confession live on air. I've not told anybody this. Milton and I conspired to not cut away. We
Right.
talked about it beforehand. He was like, "So do you want me to like get under the covers and move around, or like are you just gonna cut right away?" And I'm like, "No. I'm like, get down there, like pull him down there if you have to, like make it
I didn't know that. The original idea was like I'm under there with him and like, oh, this is great. This is fantastic. Oh yeah, me and Death sharing a woohoo, right? But I was under the impression that like I would hear like love fun like music, right? And they would cut away. So I'm just sitting there going like, this is great. This is awesome. I love lying here with Death. And it's like, cut the fucking camera. Like, why is it still in the room? Because I had a program monitor. I'm sitting there looking over. I'm like, why are we still here? I want you to cut away.
I mean, the problem
I
is
just got up and I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm out of here.
we had to watch Amelia walk through the whole house, which I mean that takes like 35, 40 seconds, and what we're just gonna watch.
Well, but because we can't show me woo-hooing somebody on stream. That was my main problem. Was like, we can't roll around in the bed together and like S word on stream. We can't do that. That was the whole point of the cut.
By the way, your usage of the S word the next day when streaming, I think was just none of us expected it.
That was up there in my favorite moments, like because all the production team was listening and we're all cutting normally, and then you started doing that bit, and I forget who it was. One of us was like, "Did he just say sex?" And we're like, "Oh," and then we're like, "All right, lean into it, play into it." So we like did like alerts, like you did what with Death, and your face went like beet red instantly as you like realized what you did and tried to backtrack.
I'm surprised constantly, Jerma, that I've been on Twitch a much shorter amount of time, but I have lost all sense of pride and shame and love for self-respect. And I had learned that you still have many of those important qualities that humans have. It hadn't been stripped away yet.
Well, I was just for terms of service. I didn't want to like fuck Death on camera. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, this is great. We're gonna have sex on camera. Like that's why I was afraid of.
All right, Ludwig,
full story.
Why don't you tell us about your favorite moment on stream?
On stream or specifically?
No, just of the show, I guess.
Okay, because I think the best moments were like sitting in the room and then just vamping on funny things that could happen, half of which never came to fruition. But it felt like being in class with none of the work, where you could just say shit out loud and then everyone will laugh, and it was great. Everyone kept flinging jokes. There's so much laughter. But the one, I'm a sucker for Amelia. I'm an
Amelia is a fan favorite.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Amelia as well. Because all of it was, none of it was intended. In my mind, like when we first talked about the maid character on rehearsal day, I was like, oh, like maybe you'll come in and clean, and like I'll go to work, like I might not even be there, and then it devolved quickly, rapidly, and they became their own special character.
Yeah, in fact, let's see, I've got. I'll take this photo here. one of the things that I loved most about the Amelia character was that we went into that day 2, your first day on screen, and it was just like totally supposed to be a throwaway character that maybe would show up a couple of times. And because of chat's decisions and what they were saying in chat, it totally devolved into this kind of like romantic sort of thing. And
soap opera.
Well, Jeremy invited her on a date, and then that became a whole thing, because then when the date was a stand-up, then that had to become a storyline for the next day.
And the date was a stand-up because of chat's decision, right? It was like they chose to make him do something that made him late for the date, and it didn't work. And so when we all got in the room at the end of the day, because we were going live again in like whatever 16 hours, we were like, what's going to happen with this storyline? This idea of like, no, like Amelia is now part of this soap opera, and also Amelia is Ludwig, and the only difference between them two is the choker, right? that choker.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it's funny that at one point you walk into the bathroom, and I call you Ludwig because I just hear your voice. So I'm just like, oh, Ludwig, and you're just like, no, that's not who this is.
What I actually did, I went, yeah, I mean, no, this is Amelia, because I had forgotten too that I was Amelia in that moment. I was like, oh yeah, I'm Ludwig, and I failed to be.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it is funny how little responsibility chat would also take, because they are the reason that you bailed on the date, but they were furious that they had caused that to happen.
They turn on each other,
not
so
themselves.
fast. Yeah, it's like as soon as. If anyone decided on something that someone personally had not picked, they just yell like rigged and like attack the other sub-faction of chat that wanted the other thing. And it was pretty like surreal to like set up those dominoes and then like let them go and just see how immediate it was, like dogs like fighting over a bone. Like everyone would just go at each other for each decision.
Any wrong move. When I took off the choker, they went from loving Amelia to hating Ludwig. It was that. If I never revealed that, it would have been fan favorite. I left the villain. I left the heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we developed this thing. Let me see if I can run it. It's right, the Ludwig Dollhouse, and this concept behind like how does the stream end? How do we get out of this thing? Was not predetermined prior to the night before the last show, right? It was like
shout out to the graphics department.
Yeah, shout out to graphics for coming up with that stuff real quick, and actually for you, Ludwig, too, for doing the recording of your little head thing, right? Like that was so clutch. But the way that it all came together in that like the save file and like Ludwig's takeover of the stream and then resetting the save file. I actually have a clip.
That was funny.
Yeah, I have a clip of that coming together. Let me see.
Yeah, I thought about this last night, and just like I was lying there. It like might not, if it was even, it's probably too late at this point. But if they could even cycle to like somebody else, like if it was like they could cycle to Ludwig, and like he had his own needs bar, right? Like that might be kind of fun to like have us be given two different directions. But it would probably, at this point, that's probably way too difficult.
It's like 14 hours to air.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, like 14 hours to air.
We'd have to reset the needs bar for a new person, but then we could like if you had an animated face thing on the bottom left, then it's no different. Yeah.
We totally could do that.
And like I could be like pissed.
They're not controlling you.
What? No. But you're controlling. No. You control me. You can just
vote for who they want to control.
I could come from like one of your IFBs and be like, give me that fucking money. This is my show. We're roommates now. No, we're not roommates.
You like the tire close the door.
Well, the good thing about that is you can pretty much do whatever you want then. You don't have to listen to
You
time.
have like a graphic pop up that now shows like the house and it says like Jerma plus Ludwig. Oh, this isn't plus him.
Well, we have the needs bar in the corner. We have like the little face of Jeremy there that's there. We took it down partway through and put the logo up just because it was a lot to happen there. But I think if you clearly then showed, if we just recorded like your heads so that we had
and then I can make the same sort of overlay we did for that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I would say like after they take control of him, it should probably be another maybe 10 to 20 minutes of like total time for them to do a few actions to buy one or two things maybe.
So he does so they get actions as him still during the party.
Oh, it'd be funny to spend all your money, and that's where we go. And then you make a big point where you're like, hey, buy the most expensive shit, and like, and it's people are just like, okay, let's go get the most expensive Stuff for the party things. I find like your cash reserves, we buy something else right after. Yeah, it's like it's not my money. Put it up again. Yeah.
Yep. That was the inception of the idea right there.
Yeah, it came together way more naturally than I would have expected too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was all done
14
like
hours
a day
before the show.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember going into like the shooting of this, and we like didn't know how it was going to end on the final day. It was just kind of a, you know, because the day 2 had the fire, and that's like such a great moment. But day 3, it's like, you know, it kind of came down to whatever chat decided, whatever they, you know, like they glomped onto, and we're like, we want to see this plot line play through, and it just happened to be Amelia, I think, which felt really natural.
I'm looking for a clip I have of Kit backstage before the reset of the game, where
Dude, I love Kit. I have to say, I love Kit. Kit is like the sweetest human, and then in any interaction will always be so considerate to a fault on how you might have interpreted it in some negative fashion. And I would always remember he'd like, you know, you'd like come back or something. You'd be like, was that like good? Was that okay with the police officer? Like, that was good, right? And I'd be like, yeah, man, I was fired. We were dope together.
It's always good.
Yeah. You're the sweetest life force I could have imagined.
That's very kind
And
of you
funny
to
to
say.
boot. Funny to boot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not allowed to be funny and nice, by the way. Okay? I already picked one, or very clearly,
one.
and I'm kind of struggling at that one. You're not allowed to be both, all right? And better at both. That's not allowed, okay? That should be banned.
Oh, jeez.
I'm having a real tough.
What video you?
I still have all the
You got some
cash you gave me, by the way.
You got the money.
I don't know where I put the. Did I give you the signed bill?
No.
I think I lost just the signed bill.
The signed
It's play
stuff?
money, by the way. Just to be clear.
Yeah, I stole
it's not real
all
money.
the cash from set. I found out it was play money. What an L. But I stole all the cash from set, and I had people sign one, and I lost just the signed bill. I thought you had it, but now it turns out you don't. So it's gone.
Had you not? If you want, I can sign one of these, but
just ship it to me. The saddest signed bill in the mail.
Send. Yeah, I signed it for you, kid.
Yay.
On the topic of the,
you guys were an amazing addition to the show. One of the things that I wanted to make sure is because like bringing on people that, you know, it's the Jerma 985 Dollhouse. How do we make this happen for 3 days, right? How could I be up there for 3 days doing, look at me? There's only so many times I can do that for like 12 straight hours. So bringing on, we were trying to think of early on who we could even like mesh with, who would be fun, who would be interesting, who would be funny. And we had some late additions too that came in and just knocked it out of the park, like Milton, Micah, Randy. Milton was a rock star. He just showed up and he was like literally the last second possible. It was like 4 days before the show, 5 days before the show, right? And it's just like, you want to fucking do this? And he killed it. He was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I loved every contribution.
What am I missing?
Yeah,
and we've got technical problems.
I can't. I'm looking for a clip, and I can't find the clip. There's a clip of Kit and Milton and Micah backstage as we're about to start the reset sequence, and Kit goes like, "So I'm going to go out there and plead with chat to do this." But I think he actually prefaces it. He's like, on the off chance that they pick not to do it, like, I'm going to go out and do this, and then they're going to come out after me, right? It was like just the perfect setup for it. I unfortunately can't.
At the end?
At the very end, yeah.
Reset.
Well, because you had said, I don't remember who thought of it, but we were talking about resetting the game. And I think we all assumed that chat was going to reset the game. And I remember thinking, what if they don't? Like, they might not do that. And they did not do that for a very long time.
No, it was like 5 or 6 polls, I think.
Yeah. But I'm so glad that happened, because you could have that opportunity of more and more people coming and begging, and like it felt like this climax of building. And it was like, I don't know if you guys saw the percentages, but it was a matter of 1% to 3% difference every time. Like, it was down to the wire. Chat was just ravenously like battling each other to try to push it one way or another, and it felt like a real climax. It was really cool.
And just to be clear, Craig, and you could talk about this a little bit too. We had no way to rig the pole. It's not like, because at some point during that sequence, I was like, can we just like push it over the edge? And Craig, it's like we physically don't have a mechanism to change. Like the data comes in and it goes into it, and that's it. So
yeah, the only bug that people saw that I'm aware of was the sorting issue in like the first day, where like it would show a winner even though another thing had a bigger percentage. And that was purely like our UI pushing the wrong winner out of a sorting issue. But all the numbers were calculated, and you could see that like the majority votes went to the right thing. So none of that was padded in any way. It was all literally what chat picked. And we just had to like preempt kind of what we expected chat to go for. But even then we had contingency plans for like literally everything, which I think is the awesome part about the show is like, and so just to segue, I guess it's like my favorite thing of the show was the whole Uncle Ted segment where, chat voted for him to check the mail. That led to him getting a letter, and we're like, we need him to get more money. So I guess we'll do an inheritance. And so I pushed the notification of his uncle died, which then went to, he made up the name Uncle Ted when talking to his mom, which then went to chat, like lamenting the death of Uncle Ted and how he was like weirdly happy about it, which then went into like, day 2, we're like, well, we need him to get more furniture, but he has $20 in the bank. And I was like, what if we made, a set of furniture that was free because it was Uncle Ted's inheritance set? And so chat, of course, goes and buys that because it's free. And so we were like kind of setting all these pieces. And then, once they get that set, that enables our character, Blair, to play Uncle Ted and come on set. And then we even had the decision of whether or not to kill him. And like we thought chat was going to kill him because, you guys are psychopaths. But, there was an option of this where you don't kill Uncle Ted, and he's a character for the rest of the show. Like that, we were prepared for that. And he could have been around for the party. He could have been around, he could have been like a consistent guy. But they're like, oh, he's a ghost. Call the Grim Reaper. That whole bit was my favorite.
Yeah, because if you had called like the priest would have probably showed up and been like, this person's alive. Like maybe like do an exorcism on them, but this person's alive. I don't need to.
This is actually a clip of them waiting backstage to see which way chat goes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you've shown too many moments like that yet where we sometimes had these trees where we knew every possible thing that chat could vote on, and so we'd all of us would be suiting up or like getting ready for whatever character, and then if it didn't get called, we'd just walk back.
Yeah, I have a.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was the worst for Kit, because Kit, he would be like Edna, the policeman. He'd have to like swap the most insane costumes. Mia'd be like, all right,
not the bear though, but
yeah, that's true. The bear actually was brutal.
Yeah.
I'm going to show my my crib sheet. So this is how the entire show was run off this piece of paper here. And
a lot of lines.
Yeah, so this was not made months in advance. In fact, this was made after the first stream, before the second stream, of here are all the events, here's who's involved with them, here are the chat options for them. And then we had other notes about like what all those different chat options entailed. But then as we were going, I'd be making notes about, okay, how is this changing? How is what transpired going to affect what's happening in the future? Who's involved with what? Who needs to be in what costume, when, and where? And so this was kind of like the master sheet of what we had done already and what was left to do, and what options we had left. And you can see there's some things on here that we never did. We never had the sleepover.
Yeah.
And
the sleepover.
Yeah, the sleepover, and the other one was the
you missed out.
The check.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the giant like check.
What is it called?
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, it was called like
Clearinghouse,
I think we called it Editors
Sweepstakes.
Editors Sweepstakes.
Oh, you guys made it. You made the whole check and everything too.
I'm looking for the photo of it.
It was a beautiful check.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, and even when people showed up, like, because anytime that somebody knocked on the door, it was up to essentially you guys to send people like you chat, right? But once they were in the house, it was pretty much fair game to make up a random storyline with improv and just see where it went from there.
Yeah.
And doing the weird stuff with needing you guys adding like a variable, But like, oh, you're gonna call the bear now. Oh, go to the bathroom. Or go in the shower. It just kind of created a bunch more dynamic, and it gave for different storylines to just be made up on the fly, even stuff that wasn't even written down. So it was really cool.
I liked how inspired by Scooby-Doo you were, Ludwig. All the Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, you were really into the Scooby-Doo stuff.
Obsessed. I don't know. I think it's so funny. Like the just happened to have missed them, walked into a different door. They walk out another door. Like that physical comedy. I could be 75 and also think it's funny.
Or the cabinet in the kitchen.
I also
battered my knee.
You still have a bruise?
When you left.
Oh my god!
You see that?
Oh,
that's from.
Looks like you got hit by a softball.
Yeah. It was from exiting the house as a robber through the window. Yeah, I didn't even recognize until like the next day.
Dang,
that's bad.
That was quite the stunt.
We all signed waivers, right? We signed waivers, didn't we?
Well, look, if I complain after you jumped out of a window into glass, I think. But I guess I already sued you and won the house. I can't complain.
That's right. That's right.
I have here at the things we had at the door, the disclaimers. Where are they?
Was there a disclaimer?
Oh yeah.
I'll go with one of my favorite things of the whole entire week.
Oh, yeah, nobody asked you, huh?
I was
when
I don't think he asked.
You didn't even ask me. Kitten, when you and I were in the DIY room, and the amount of times when I'm swinging the hammer around, how you are actually not acting visibly scared of me, it's pretty funny. People are like, "Hey, dude, like you came like pretty close, like 3 or 4 times to hitting him like in the back," and I'm like, "No, I did. What are you talking about?"
I didn't know that. I didn't know that you hadn't done some of that stuff. So I was a little bit afraid a few times.
I heard you on your channel the other day, and you were like, "Yeah, I didn't realize that Jeremy had never done anything before. Like he didn't know how to use he didn't know how to paint, he didn't know how to use a hammer. He didn't know."
I'm not trying to shame you. I just didn't know.
Unused hands.
I just didn't know.
There's the signs.
That's so funny. There's a part where you pick up the sledgehammer and you just like kind of slowly like golf swing into the wall, just making little holes. And then when you pull the painting down and it's just like you didn't get the painting, and then the safe opens. The safe actually opens like before we even get a chance to do that.
The chat.
No, I think they did. Oh, they didn't.
Oh,
we hid the safe open.
No, I didn't know about this.
So I left the safe not latched because in rehearsal, Ludwig, you got it open, but it was like I was like worried about it, and I was like, what if you can't what if you can't get it open, right? So then I was like, okay, I'm going to leave it, but not completely latched. But then I should have thought that they were going to try the handle on stream, and
it just opened.
That was my bad. Yeah,
it opened. The fact that's because that whole thing was supposed to come down, but part of me was like kind of scared just to hit those poles. I feel like I was like, I'm scared I'm going to take the whole second floor down.
It's not
that would be so bad. Like I take a giant swing, hit one of those podiums, and then all of a sudden, like me and Kit just drop through the floor like Home Alone 2.
But you went during the party back up there with the sledgehammer to hit those actual like connecting frames. You were on some shit at that party, man. You were like, this is the final scene. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Like,
well, it was like the end of the stream. It was the end of the whole week. I was like, fuck it. Let's just swing
it. We talked a few minutes ago about how things sort of came to happen as the show went on, and we had a finite number of costumes and a finite number of props, but like exactly what was going to happen with them wasn't like predefined. And so I have a cool little clip here of Kit coming with Milton, who's the prisoner, out onto stage. And what I think is cool about this clip. Nothing particularly exciting happens in it, but it kind of gives you the perspective of they leave the green room to come to the stage. What is that process like? So we're going to play that now.
Already in handcuffs.
Was it raining?
It was raining.
The rain. Oh God, it's so
Just
loud.
when we could barely hear each other talking.
Yeah. It was leaking too, right? You guys talked about it yet?
No, we haven't.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would pause it and talk about that for 1 second. So during this portion here, when it was pouring like monsoon type rain.
Yeah.
And when they were inside, Kit and Milton, we could barely even hear. It was like talking over a vacuum cleaner. And one of the things that was happening backstage was, and there's a point of the stream where I look up and I'm getting hit in the face by water. And I don't know if you got it.
It was right here.
What? Yeah, it's like right at this point here. I'm getting hit directly in the face by water, and it was just real water coming from the ceiling. And Jake, maybe you can logistically talk about where it was, but there was like a transformer.
Yeah, right behind us,
10 feet away.
Kit is the one that saw it, right?
Yeah. Oh, Kit, was you, Kit?
It's like right next. Nelson and I. Yeah, it's right behind where we were. We just heard water pouring. Like, what is that? Yeah.
And so he tells Josh, who's standing back, and I wonder if it's even in this clip actually, where he tells him. I'll lower the audio here so it's not drowning us out. So I get a call on the radio. Josh is like, "Hey Jake, we got some leakage," and like a few people had mentioned, because like we knew there were a couple spots on the set where water would come down. We knew it wasn't going to be a problem or whatever. And Josh is like, "No, this is down by the transformer." And I'm like, "Oh God, hang on 1 second." So I come back there, and I don't know if we actually have any photos of the transformer setup, but
imagine electrical stuff.
There's these two transformers that are the size of a car, like a small car, like a Beetle, and then maybe like a large motorcycle, like next to each other. And they take 480 volt service, and they step it down to what we need for all the lights and the motors and stuff. And sure as shit, there's water coming down like a foot away from one of these transformers. And so I run to get a bucket, and Josh runs to get like some towels or something to clean it up. And we were fine, everything was cool. And thankfully, the rain only lasted for like 20 or 25 minutes. It just kind of came, and then it went, and it was over with. But it was just like it was just our luck. And so while it was happening, we didn't know how much it was picking up on the mics. Fortunately, it wasn't that much. Mark did a good job with some noise suppression and stuff. But if you notice closely in those scenes, we set the TV monitors inside the rooms and the outside graphic to be raining, so it looked like it's raining. So if you did hear any rain noise, you would at least think, oh, they're adding rain noise to.
And then the person that talks to Jeremy in his ear also made sure to have him say multiple times about how it's raining and look out the window and stuff. So we try to cover that stuff. So
and we did have the power outage thing too. So that was like, oh, rain and storms can happen. Yeah. So
when you told me it was raining and you held your hand out, I think it's around this scene. I just ignored it and pretended you were crazy. But yeah, it was real rain. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a part where I'm just like going like this in front of you, and it's hitting my hand.
I think it's like right around here where this scene, but yeah.
It also gives you an idea of what they can see backstage, right? You could see basically a security camera view of every room to get an idea of where people are for if you're planning improv ideas and whatnot, and they can see chat, they can see you guys going by, and they can see what you can see.
Yeah, Josh was
like a beautiful
huge...
moment with the rain.
What was that?
I was just saying that he had a beautiful moment with the rain where it was hitting his head. But you're saying about Josh?
Oh, yeah. Just gonna say Josh was a huge asset for us, because in terms of like coming out and queuing us up for what was going to happen. That was me saying, "Can I go to the bathroom?"
Oh, yeah.
So he would clear us for going to the bathroom.
I remember that because then someone on comms was like, "All right, cue Kit and Milton," and Josh is like, "He's in the bathroom." All right, Jeremy, you need to vamp for 30 more seconds.
There was a point where I had to run to the bathroom too.
Things. Oh,
yeah, he was a rock star. Yeah, there was a point where I ran away and peed in like the urinal, and I think I said over the mic, I was like, I hope I'm not on. I hope you have my mic at 0 because they could probably hear me pissing.
Yeah, there was only one moment I can remember where we cut to like the wide shot of the house when they're picking a room, and you were not in bed because you were going to the bathroom, and we're like, someone just finally said on the mic, like,
"Could you hear it?"
He's not there, is he? No, we couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear you. We had the mics cut.
I was joking.
He just vanished overnight, and chat slowly was like, "Wait, where is he? Oh no, what happened to our streamer?" And then we cut back and we were back. So it was fine.
This is a moment I have of when God enters the scene, and this is actual behind the scenes footage as it happens, as it plays out. We should do a version of this with crew audio too. That'd be good.
Get this on the
Get that hair.
I need you this way. Quick. Here, quick.
Gotta get his car ready.
Quick,
go.
That's
Just like
pretty much what he was like,
shot.
but he was great.
There goes the car.
Oh yeah, those shoes, by the way, are about a half the size of my feet. Like I was on them. But it's a real thing, you know. There's multiple moments that hit me while we were running this thing. It's like,
and this thing goes so slow.
Like,
was this low on battery? Because this thing goes so slow.
There was a faster option, but I was terrified of just ramming into the side of the set. So I was like, I'll just go slowly towards it and give them time.
This scene has to be sacrilegious.
Yeah, I might be going to hell.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Out in a clown car.
Yeah, Pearly Gates is gonna look at you, Craig, and he's gonna be like, "Really, the clown car?"
Yeah.
There he goes.
It's so slow.
Yeah,
It's so
really
slow.
Well, I thought they were
Well,
going
when I'm
to
listening, lap you.
It really is slow. Oh my gosh.
I thought it was running out of batteries. I was like, oh shit, I hope it doesn't run out of batteries. At this
It has to go
Bad.
80 feet.
Bad.
That's like the size of most kids' yards.
I almost ate shit there, by the way. I almost tripped on the door.
He pooped his pants.
Did you guys talk about the rehearsal version of this scene?
Oh, the realistic diarrhea going into a toilet, real Foley of a human shitting? Yeah, we have.
I thought that I couldn't hear the effects like you did, but watching you guys spur the moment improv, what it could have been was pretty wild. It was pretty nuts.
Jeremy won't let us play the original clip.
Yeah. I mean,
will he release the cut? That's funny.
Not release the cut. You're not releasing the cut.
I remember hearing the sounds where I was. I don't know if I could hear the sounds. Maybe it's worse with all of the effects. But,
it'll be on the DVD extras.
The DVD extra.
Maybe after
Director's
Jeremy retires, we'll leak it.
That's when statute of limitations just goes away.
It was just fucked up. It was just like a fucked up sequence. I'm sitting on the toilet
It
for
was nuts.
For 4 straight minutes because we didn't have all the other stuff.
It was a nightmare. You said, guys, what are we going to do if they pick nightmare? And then you guys sort of improv'd this terrifying nightmare scene.
Yeah, and right after you're like, I did not like that. And we're like, that's the point. And
That's
it's like,
the
no,
point.
I didn't like that. And you're like, we can't do
I was
that.
like, I really didn't like that. Like, I don't want that in the show. I didn't like it. It was crazy.
What's your favorite moment?
My favorite moment? I loved the dream sequence. It was scary. It was really scary. Especially the rehearsal, but then after watching back the one that aired, it definitely was scarier than I realized in real time. And so I think that was probably my favorite moment. I think my second favorite moment was at the end after they decide to reset, and we have one character after another come into the scene. And it's this callback to all these different characters throughout the show, and they're there pleading with chat. It's like on, guys, it's time. Like we gotta do this. Like you gotta reset
Stop it now.
the game.
We gotta end it.
Yeah, exactly. And so and the fact that chat really is the one that made it happen and to complete the loop is just a really neat moment for me.
I 100% agree.
I also really loved because originally the Edna. Edna was we weren't sure who it was going to be because could we get that actual audio to work and actually having you be able to be Edna with like the voice changer and actually have it work. That was like one of my favorite things of the week too.
I love the cookies coming out. The packaged cookies.
I'm glad it worked because when I do her voice normally, I hear it in my like headphones, and I didn't there, and so I didn't know if it was sounding correctly the whole time, and I was afraid like, what if this sounds terrible? But yeah,
Kit. One of the things that Lauren and I were talking about behind the scenes, and when we were like planning all the different who should show up and when, was like your Edna character is so different from like every other like character we had on the show, you know, just like energy and like the comedy and like just the way the dynamic between like, you know, Jerma and you in those scenes was so different. It felt like an awesome breath of fresh air. Like I really enjoyed.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It was perfect.
That's awesome.
I love when you went to the bathroom. I was like, waiting for that.
Yeah, I was hoping. I don't know if what happened with the audio, but I was hoping that you guys would do some goofy effects with the audio there.
Oh, yeah, they got their chance. I think everybody got their sound effect in the bathroom there.
Okay,
they got their chance.
Everyone got at least one fart in.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody got at least one bathroom gag. So everyone got to fart or poop in the toilet, which is kind of gross, but you know, whatever.
That's how it goes.
I don't know if anyone talked about it yet, but I don't think I'm the only one. But there was something, sorry if this sounds cliche or whatever, but there were a lot of moments where Jerma walked around like a giddy little schoolgirl, like really excited about particularly jumping through the window. But it was pretty cool to see, I don't know, just the way you were watching it all come together and just living it out. It was pretty wild. So,
I have this clip of Jeremy seeing the house for the first time inside the trailer.
Oh yeah,
where
like
we
with
had
the graphic.
Oh, the cut up from the cutaway
with the graphic overlay. Yeah,
He's just like walking It around looks in like there. It looks like fucking Seinfeld. You disappear between the rooms. I'm just imagining like, oh, Jerry. It's like Kramer's intern. Yeah, like that's ridiculous. That's insane. Pretty sweet. Well, I want to like do the stream now. You know what I mean? I just want to like start it. God, this is awesome.
It really did.
Yeah, you were so excited. Yeah.
There's just so many props back there, and so it just like.
Well, it's just awesome to see something like this come together. Like it just, never in my wildest dreams did I think that, you know, I was making TF2 YouTube videos like 10 years ago, and it's like we were able to put this together and do this now. It's just, I never would have thought this was ever possible. So being able to actually like go and play with the giant toy that was made with the 30, 40 plus people that had an involvement in it, it was surreal. It was a surreal experience, and I will never forget it until the day I die.
Yeah, I think it carried over for us too. Like you had definitely an infectious energy and just, you know, like Kit said, excitement. Like seeing you just kind of dive into every scene and just live it made it a lot easier for all of us to like wrap around how your dynamic was, and I think it definitely showed. Especially like, you know, the second and third day, I think, like as first day being the test, I think by second and third day we really hit our stride, and it really turned out great.
Yeah,
You're also
literally
super
couldn't be happier.
positive. I asked you maybe 17 times after it ended what you thought about the ending, because I felt a lot of pressure because it involved a lot of me and Amelia. So I was like, man, I hope he liked that, because you'd planned day 2 ending so precisely. Day 3 ending was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna figure it out. And so I asked him like I think like 17 times, like, what do you think? Like, how was it? You're like, oh, it was great. Oh, it was perfect. Oh, it couldn't have been better. And I was like, oh, great. And I kept asking because I just felt so self-conscious at all times.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys were unbelievable. You guys were hilarious. You were funny. You could just implant yourself anywhere. And that's why you were on the show to begin with. That was part of it, right? Is I've watched your streams, all of you guys here, and you can do it. I couldn't have asked for like a better like cast and crew, and it was unbelievable. I don't want to get emotional. I promised I wouldn't get emotional on the behind the scenes stream. I promised I wouldn't. But this is the kind of shit that I want to do more of. I want to see more of this stuff, and I think that over the coming years, let's keep doing them. I think that there's a lot of potential to keep kind of trying to just do fun stuff and just try, right? Because look, this could have been a fucking disaster. This could have been the shittiest stream on Twitch.
Yeah,
it could have happened, right? Like
that's what I was thinking when I was hyperventilating in my car an hour before we started the stream on Wednesday.
Like this could have been just an absolute fucking train wreck, but you try to do something that you think is fun. That's it.
Yeah.
Huge thanks to everybody who participated, to Kit, to Ludwig, to Kriken, to Milton, to Micah, to Randy, obviously to Ray for bearing that costume. I feel so bad for him.
Bearing the costume.
There were so many just superheroes of the week that it'd be impossible to kind of. It was everybody. Everybody had this thing that they were doing. This is like the thing that's really to know, and why at the end of the stream it was like get everybody on here, because if you were on set as I'm the audio guy, like you did like 3 or 4 other things that were not just I'm the audio guy. If you were I was putting the tress up. Did I say that right? Tress?
Yeah.
Like some of these people were actors, some of these people were like the shadow people. People had like 3 or 4 different roles that weren't just the thing that they came to show up. Vinny, the editor, he was supposed to just come and take video for the behind the scenes shit, and he did like 7 people's jobs. It was ridiculous. So it's impossible without all the people that got to do, hopefully had a lot of fun and got to do multiple things that they thought were interesting.
I think this is probably a good place to end it, unless, Jeremy, did you want to take 1 or 2 questions from chat for our guests?
I think we should take a couple if we can.
Yeah, that'd be great. So if you got questions,
especially
from the chat,
with Kit and Ludwig here.
Yeah, you should at Kit, add Ludwig, add Kriken, at Jeremy if you have a specific question for one of them. And
how hot was it on set?
How hot was it on set?
It was a perfect temperature.
It was fine, unless you wore like the bear costume. Ludwig says it's.
He doesn't think so.
Yeah.
It got a bit toasty, like, because I got to like get off. I got to like relax in the green room. But when I had to take over for a bit and like lie down there, especially when you're doing something physical and you start sweating, I don't know. You were a trooper. That was hot.
Oh, yeah, physically
That's
on
true.
like in the Dollhouse was hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like being able to like get out of that room, and I did a few times too. A lot of the times when it went to the kind of the transition sequence where it was buying something and here's like an ad, I got up and I was able to get out of there and just kind of get some water, walk around. So no, I wasn't just like stuck in there permanently, but yep, it was pretty warm in there.
It was an air-conditioned facility, which makes a big difference too. Like even though it was hot in the set, it was that much cooler than it would have been because we were fortunate that the facility was somewhat air-conditioned. We then put hundreds and hundreds of pounds of curtains in front of the air conditioner, but it was still air-conditioned.
I've got a question here for Kit and Jeremy. Talk about the pink paint.
Pank?
I think he was using an accent, right? And
I mean, I think I was doing something like that. Yeah. I guess I must have said the word pink. I must have said pank or something.
You said pank, and then I heard that back in production, and I was like, "Did you say pank?" And so I was like, I just made a notification of like minus $20 for pink pank, and then that was the notification at the top, and the music kind of kept running.
I don't know if I was saying it for paint or pink. Yeah, who knows?
I think you said pank paint.
Yeah, pank
paint.
Maybe.
And then I called it pink pank. And then we're like, we were telling Blair to tell like Jeremy to bring up the Pank thing, and you must have been so confused why you were like being told to call it Pank. And
I had no idea what was going on.
I
was like, "Hey, bring up Pank," and I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What is Pank? What are you talking about?"
I didn't know what to say. Yeah.
I thought it was like
Someone
a bit that you that like Jeb had. Like, oh, he's gonna do this like Pank thing.
Not really. I tried to like some of the voices and characters I did had a little bit of like lore from some of the scam calls, but I tried to just mostly focus on the Dollhouse, so I didn't really bring anything over.
Excuse me, Jeb.
I missed that. Dude. I missed so many references.
Jeb, you love saying Jeb.
And not a single time.
Hated Jeb.
I just kept doing it. I just kept going, Jeb. Yeah, excuse me, Jeb. Jeb is a mess. Yeah, I think I honestly, I really think I said that probably 30 to 40 times at least.
In hindsight, yeah. I saw someone ask about. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Someone asked about the Jerma inviting Edna to the party, which you had mentioned previously in a different segment. Which, the quick statement was just I was suited up as the police officer because I think Ludwig was going to talk to me or something. There was some storyline progression, and then Jerma said, "I want to invite Edna to the party," and so I just had to switch. I ran all the way back, and at one point was like taking my clothes off in the green room. It was
I think you still had the lipstick on as the police officer.
Yeah, the cop had lipstick on when he came back out. It was amazing.
You still had the lipstick.
Everyone told me to do that. I was going to take it off. I was like, no, it's funny. Okay.
Is there a video of the second floor?
Ludwig and Kraken, someone in chat wants to know about the good dream. What would have happened with the good dream?
Ooh. We brainstormed a couple things. I don't think we like.
I think it was like I was a cowboy, so some sort of like cool cowboy maybe fights like a gladiator because we had a gladiator costume.
Yeah.
And just something like random, but like maybe cool or badass.
We also played around with like kind of like a sexy dream where like it was kind of like he was being puppeted around in like. There's also a version of it I think where we had the same kitchen thing where everyone was like laughing at him, but there's instead like cheering for him. So it's like a version of that dream, but everyone's happy to see
you're
him.
the greatest. You're so wonderful.
Like,
weren't they congratulating him on the good poop?
Yeah.
It was like the end of Evangelion scene, but you just pooped, and everyone was there, and like, congratulations.
You're like, we're so proud of you.
That was right.
Yeah. I think that's
because they told us when we were going in the kitchen that, whether it was good or bad, we would find out, and we were either to cheer and say good job or make fun of him.
Yeah.
Another question for Ludwig, but I guess probably also very applicable to Kit is when did you get involved with the project? Like how did that happen? And are you open to further collaborations?
Okay, you run it first.
I would never want to work with it. No.
We are done professionally.
Yeah. After this, I will never speak to you. I would be delighted to do anything with any of you. It was a blast. I will never forget it. Tons of great improv moments, and like Ludwig, you had mentioned, just being able to sort of vibe. Is vibe a word that kids use? Vibe off of each other and come up.
You're getting younger by the day.
Come up with ideas. Seeing Ludwig's hair in real life, there was lots of good moments. But I think it was you gave me a couple months notice. I think Jerma and Jake, you guys like DM'd me on Discord and said, hey, we're thinking about a Dollhouse thing. Would you be interested? And you didn't give me a ton of detail. I just said, yeah.
I think I gave you a call in like maybe March or April because I saw your name on the whiteboard there from the meeting that we had in May.
Oh yeah.
And you were pretty well like it was you were a known quantity at that point. So
then you did give me quite a bit of notice. We didn't really hash out, or I didn't know exactly what it was, but you had mentioned. Yeah.
What about you, Ludwig? Do you want to tell the story of your involvement?
I don't know. I forget exactly when I weaseled my way into Jerma's life and forced him out of his Twitch cavern that he hides in. But I think it was sometime, because like the battleship thing we did, and then the tournament. I think it was right around then that you asked. And it was like twofold. It was like, one, you were like, "Hey, that was great. Like that was fun. Like, hey, totally random. I have this thing going on." And then I was like, "Yeah, it sounds great." And then like a day later, you're like, "By the way, for like, you happen to have a sponsor too." And I'm like, "This mother." All right, let him show him why I call him.
I was just curious.
Yeah. And
we were so broke.
I was like, yeah, I was instantly down because, and I think you were surprised. Were you surprised?
Well, because I think it's because it was such short notice, because it was like 2 or 3 weeks out from the show, and I'm like, he's probably got a lot of shit going on. You probably look. I understand you have to treat this travel involved. If you don't, I understand. And you're just like, no, I'm game. I'm like, you're game. All right, yeah. This is perfect. Cool. Yeah, come on.
When you mentioned Ludwig, I at first assumed it was like a different Ludwig that I didn't know of. No, just.
It's like, is this a different one? We got like a celebrity impersonator.
We got a composer.
Celebrity impersonator. That would be pretty funny though. You get like an impersonator.
Yeah. If just like a different streamer. No, but like a Dr. Disrespect, but it's not actually the doc.
Just the hair and the mustache.
Terrible wig.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was after we did the battleship stuff. When you and I did the battleship thing back and forth with, the shirt that, maybe one day I'll do that. Probably not though. Hopefully not. You're just doing it.
I'm biding my time.
We had a blast. Like the thing with like kind of collabing with people and stuff, and I have to like mesh with somebody, you know what I mean? And during those streams, I was like, hey, this is fun. We're bouncing back and forth. He's a funny motherfucker. I like this dude a lot. So it was really, really simple to like reach out to you, because it was just like, oh, that was great. Because you never want to have a scenario, right, where it's tricky to, let's ask this person if they want to be involved. I've never talked to them. Don't know what their deal is. I have no idea how they are off camera. Are they somebody I would mesh with? And then you get in the same room, we get on camera. It's like, are you ready? Are you ready to do like the show that, a guy that I don't know, that I've never talked to? Do I have any chemistry with? I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Craig, do you want to talk?
Very simple.
Do you want to talk for a quick second about Ghost Commander and your involvement and how that kind of went down? Maybe plug your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I've known Jeremy for a few years now. Since we did like role play stuff in games every once in a while, and then at one of the Twitch cons, we started talking about ambitious projects we had. At that point, I had started Ghost Commander with Lauren. It's basically our interactive Twitch production company. So we build both technology and shows that are like, viewer integrated. And so I was telling him about some of the stuff that we were working on, and he was like, oh, I had this idea for, a Dollhouse show where like, I play like basically a sim in a house. And so we started shooting the shit and like, oh, this sounds really fun. We'd love to collaborate on this should it ever happen. But then like, 2 years later, you guys managed to secure the money, and you called me back up and you're like, all right, I think we want to actually explore how we could do this. And so we, hopped on a plane and went out to see what we could do. And that's kind of how the whole brainstorm happened, and then built the whole thing over the next couple months. And here we are. So,
and make no mistake about it. Without the Ghost Commander team and without the extension, we can't do the stream. The stream doesn't even work. We can't even physically go live without having that. So it was the catalyst to even be able to do it in the first place. So forever grateful.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, if you want any other time, like the cool thing about what we've been building is every one of these shows we do, we're like our code base gets like stronger, and we have more
learned knowledge. So now that we've done this, like we know how to like balance an economy for like 100,000 people. Which, by the way, I don't know if you've shared any of. I mean, we've been looking at some of the records of the extension usage, and we broke Twitch records. There were more people using the extension than chatting, and
holy shit! Whoa.
Yeah, it was north of like 65% of the viewership was using on the extension to click on stuff, which is not a thing. Yeah, so we're overjoyed that it went so well, and it's also put us in a cool position to be able to work on more stuff like this, you know, both with you and with other streamers and whoever really wants to. So
yeah, it was the scariest thing. I think like a week before the show, we were in a call and you guys were showing the extension, and you're just kind of like, it was done, but there was still a couple more things you had left to do. I think I asked 100 times. I was like, so is this going to work? Is this what if this happens? Is it going to break? What if it breaks? Can we do this? What happens if it breaks? And you're like, no, it's going to be good, man. It's not going to break. And I was like, well, shit, what if it breaks? It's going to break on stream. And I was having these panic attacks like a week before the stream. But then after that first day, it was just like, holy shit, this thing like worked pretty much without a hitch at all. There was like a minor, like that small problem with like the sorting thing. But
yeah,
how in the name of God you guys were able to handle 30,000, 40,000 inputs like a second?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I actually showed some. I'm actually traveling right now, so I don't have the pictures on me. But I showed some of the heat maps of the placements, because people thought the placements might have been rigged because we didn't show exactly where they placed it. But that's because we had 30,000 inputs to sort and visualize, and so what we got was this like disgusting like rash of like different clicks on its screen, and we had to like interpret that as, oh, they want to block the door, right? And then we would like try to position, we'd tell the production team to put the spotlight at the door to put the item there. But yeah, it was insane. And I can share those pictures with you later, Jake, if you want it. But
yeah, that'd be great. We're doing a BTS reel for YouTube. And so I'd love to get some of that stuff in there too.
Sure thing.
Nice.
I was asking about the stairs, if you wanted to show that real quick too.
Oh, sure, yeah. So yeah, Chad was asking about the access in the back, because you can't see that from the camera side. The original plan was actually to put these stairs in that space between the bathroom and the bedroom, between the pink and the blue room there. But we realized if you put stairs there, you couldn't get furniture up the stairs. And so we had to put the stairs in the back here to have access for the furniture up. But this is what it looks like without the drape.
It's the kind of thing too where the stairs had to be built oversized in order to accommodate wide furniture. It's the kind of thing you don't think about without having to like build a set. So they had to be built oversized staircase, so extra wide they could get a couch up it if that was picked. And then every stair also gets marked with a tape that glows in the dark, because they'd be interacting in the dark back there. So everything would get marked with stuff to help make it stand out.
It's actually pretty funny because this up the stairs, Jake, I don't know if you remember like 2 or 3 years ago when we first like even floated the idea. I was like, the only reason why I want to start process on this stream is because I keep seeing this image in my head of 2 or 3 people in spandex suits just trying to carry a couch upstairs, like into a bedroom, like being controlled by chat. And it was like, that was the reason to do it. That was the only reason why I wanted to do it. And you guys, we made it happen.
There
they are. This is that
going up the stairs, like watching guys with like, yeah, and you saw earlier the stream. That's Nick right there. He was here earlier. So they were unbelievable. These guys are so funny. They're so talented. They're like 700 IQ engineer brains, and they're funny and they're talented. It's like they're like perfectly rounded humans. It's why we keep working with them. They're unbelievable.
Well, I think this is probably a good point for us to wrap our show. A huge, big thank you to... Oh, yeah, Kit, what's up?
I don't want to totally interrupt, but do you happen to have a shot of, at the very end, after we ended stream, and for like 15 minutes, everyone just stood there and chat was saying thanks and clapping for like...
Yes,
forever.
That shot does exist.
That was a very surreal moment for me. I'll we just all like the whole crew was just sitting there and chat was going crazy.
Yeah,
I think he told us that there was something like I don't know how many tens of thousands of people there after it was over too.
I got a text from someone at Twitch that was like, you've had a good show when you've finished and you're on your end credits and you still have 90,000 people in chat. Like, it's just it was such a cool feeling to have been off screen for 10 minutes and still have 90,000 people there. That was
I just kept going back and looking at the screen, and chat was still like, "Thanks, clap." It was nuts.
Yeah, a lot of the production team like ran for the on stage fridge and just grabbed beers out of there. We're like, we did it, and then we just look and
it's time.
That's all clapping. Yeah, it was a very surreal and euphoric kind of experience.
I think there's a clip of that in the outro that we're going to be playing.
Oh, okay. We had this original idea where it was like, how many people did we get on the archaeology stream? Oh, that was like 47,000 people, 50,000 people. Holy shit! Imagine if we got like 40,000 people again, and we looked over at some point at the last moment of the last 45 minutes of the stream. It was like over 100,000 people there. And I remember, I think Ludwig, I think you were backstage at one point. You were like, "Yeah, just broke 100K." And I was like, "Wait, what happened?" And I like looked over and I'm like, "Holy shit!" So yeah, that was more than we ever thought we were ever going to get on this stream. So
I remember keeping an eye on it because everybody was really excited about hitting that number, and I was like, "Yeah, that'd be dope." And so I kept looking at it.
It was
dope.
It's a cool number to hit.
That's what the kids say. Dope.
That is bussin', if you want to use that one too.
Okay.
I'm gonna
next Dollhouse stream.
So the Dollhouse stream 2 when we have like 8 bedrooms.
Don't say that. Stop.
I'm gonna give you a heart attack.
It's a month-long stream and it doesn't end.
And there's a roof pool.
Oh my god.
A roof pool.
And now we're talking with water in it.
Yeah, did you talk about the almost water pool that happened?
No, we didn't. So
that pool was going to be full with water
until the day before,
I think you talked about it while the stream was happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Live, I remember you talking about like, hey, this is supposed to have water in it, but we thought that against that.
Yeah.
It was a little
not going to
much.
happen.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Jeremy, you were like, it's going to be like 100 pounds of water, right? And Jacob, you're like, no, that's thousands of pounds of water.
Yeah, it's 9,000 pounds of water. It's a 1,200 gallon pool, and a gallon of water is 8
I'm just
pounds.
like, we don't really need it to be full of water. I mean, we're using it for like, it's one day. Do we really need to? We don't need that much. We don't need a pool in here because that was like logistically when the stream was done. Somebody has to get rid of that. Like somebody has to take that somewhere. What do you do with it? So it was like, just don't even put water in it. There's no reason to.
Oh no, my cam froze. This is.
Oh boy. Oh, you're still here
stuck.
though. We can hear you.
Yeah.
You look
I want to take a moment to plug our merch site. A little bit of backstory on the merch because we've seen it on Reddit and stuff. So the plan for the merch came together before Ludwig's involvement and Coinbase's involvement because we were flat broke. I mean, we were in the hole a lot of money, and we were like, oh my god, how are we gonna pay for this? Like, we're gonna have bills due, and we're not gonna be able to pay them. And so we decided to launch a merch line, and that's what we did. And so we did some kind of generic merch, the t-shirts and the sweatshirts, which are pretty cool. We did the special edition, the green one, and commissioned that poster. But obviously, we didn't have any content yet from the show. But we were like, we have to put something out there. And then we kind of came up with this idea of, okay, after the show airs, we can sell a bunch of the stuff that were props on the show. So if you go over to the site, Jerma985.com, there's a link out to our eBay store where we have a whole bunch of props for sale that were used on the show. And we also have worked with some community artists, and we are now selling some fan art posters and stickers. So you can go and check those out and order those. Support the community, support the artists in the community, and help support the show. So that's my plug. I'm sorry I had to do it, but it's part of my job. So Jerma985.com, go check it out.
Do it. Only if you want
Do
to.
it now.
But you could. And the auctions, when do the auctions end?
The auctions end tomorrow night, basically.
Tomorrow night, like Pacific time. Like, is there a certain time?
Yeah, Alex, what's the?
I think they end at 1 a.m. Eastern on the 2nd. So I would say by that's 10 p.m. Pacific tomorrow
They
night.
say.
On
They
the
say
site.
out of stock, but they're not actually out of
to
stock.
click through to the
You got to
eBay
go to the
site.
eBay.
Click through
you
to
have to
eBay.
actually click. It's on a
It
different
is.
site.
It is.
It's on eBay.
There's too many layers of friction. I will tell you. I think the eBay should just bring you to the seller. If you link it directly to the seller.
Well, when we built the store, we had a problem because it was a new eBay account, and when you list things on a new eBay account, the seller page won't display the eBay auction items. Now that we have hundreds of bids, that does work, but we would have to go back and change the infrastructure on the
Dang,
store
Battleship's
side.
going for a penny, bro.
How much is it going for?
It's at 426 or 425.69.
Why are you showing? Why are you
Someone's
showing
currently bidding on it right now?
Why is this on screen?
These were the options for your bed. Remember, I sent you a text.
was it?
I sent you a text. Which sheet set do you want? And you picked the gamer ones.
I like that there's the glass on sale because that is going to be the most fun thing to ship.
Oh, yeah.
Is
well, it's
Hollywood glass.
It just shows up as like a bunch of pieces.
I think we have a
Powder.
disclaimer. We don't insure it.
Oh man,
that's a sick item.
Site is dead. Well, it's probably 20,000 people clicking on it at the same time.
The eBay site is
it's
dead.
been serviced, whatever it is.
The eBay seller name.
Go to the eBay seller.
Yeah, the eBay seller is Albertson and Sons.
can we
Yeah,
link it in
the
chat?
highest priced item is the signed costume package, which includes the taped watch and the drinking hat. And your signature looks great on that one, I'll add.
Oh, I think I have a clip of him signing that. Maybe that'll add some value if I play that.
Sure. Just so you know that we didn't
The
I didn't
mailbox
sign it
is
once
that
and we
item.
just printed it. How are you gonna? Okay, whoever gets the mailbox, it's a real huge
that's a-
mailbox. Are you gonna put it in front of your house?
That's definitely an interesting item.
This is real.
How did you guys
This
enjoy
wasn't
signing all
printed.
the posters?
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Work your way through.
Yeah, I know I have a clip of him sign. If you win the helmet, message me and I'll get you the clip of him signing the helmet because I know I have that one somewhere.
Oh, that's cool.
Not fake.
Not fake.
Yeah, but where do you put the mailbox? Are you gonna put that in front of your house, or like what do you do with it? It's a real mailbox. Like,
You
what do you do with it?
you petition the town to change your house number to 985 so you can use the mailbox.
Hey, I got that.
3,
I
985.
took the plaque. 1, 2.
Yeah, just put it right here.
Yeah.
Didn't someone find like a Dollhouse Lane in like one of the?
Shake the video.
Wait, is there actually
Yeah.
a Dollhouse Lane?
Is it really?
I think so. I
Well, that's
remember
why
someone.
I didn't want to say like a real place, so I'm like 985 Dollhouse Way, and I'm just like that can't be a real fucking place.
I don't know if
Yeah,
people
they
saw
do.
too on Jeremy on your plaque. I don't know if people saw there's a little detail kind of hidden on that plaque.
Oh, there is.
that
Hold on.
the,
Let me, look, I was doing waist up today, so like I didn't think I was
boy.
gonna have to. I was like, look, I look like I have like a good shirt on. I have like a nice like V-neck on.
Just stay
I
low.
don't care. I'm wearing.
I'm not looking.
I don't think I was you can see me from the waist down.
I was staring. I couldn't see it.
The folks at Andy Mark built a little piece into that for you. You can probably see it on the top there for chat.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
It's hard to see, but
Oh,
the
that's
logo is engraved on the top. So.
Dope.
The logo's
You can
engraved.
see it when it
Yeah,
shines.
it's cool. Yeah, I try to.
Oh, here, wait.
It's really
I'll bring
cool.
it back. I'll bring it back. Yeah.
It's weird because my camera's delayed.
Yeah, you can see it
There
there.
it goes.
Yeah, you got it. That's it right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Very, very lovely stuff. It was a nice touch. I remember, like Nick, like showed me this and like handed it. Was like, yeah, we look at that, and I was like, I was so touched. I was just like, hold it together, hold it together, hold it together. I can't like, you know how many times I like tried to not like cry. Like it's like the last day, especially. I was like, Thanks for coming. It was like so difficult to like.
Well, and then
the water.
And then the day after, when we were tearing down, and you came by the set, you like came by the set for like a minute, and then you just like went to the office because I think you were just so upset about the whole thing coming down. It was just it was sad.
Yeah, I just
watching it come down.
Everybody was like taking cords down, was dropping stuff, and I was just like, oh, it's sad, but it was fun. Now on to the next one, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I think if we're cool, we'll leave it here. This has been it for the Dollhouse and the Dollhouse crew. Thank you so much to our wonderful talent that's here with us, our fantastic crew.
Craig's camera.
At least he's smiling.
I'm doing what I can.
For a second, I thought it. Whoa! What? It just moved.
He's shaking it
when
he talks.
I'm moving it when I talk.
What? Oh, I thought okay, that was freaking me out. I was like, why is it moving?
Everybody's
Thank
talking.
you, Ludwig. I appreciate you, Ludwig.
I got you. Hold on.
Although I'm out of focus incredibly.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, good.
We gotta go to that corner.
Yeah, can we? Is there a way we can do that? I think we can do that.
Jerma's right on my ankle. He's gonna get on his knees.
I can't.
I have to shake my camera by actually shaking my desk.
Oh no! You blew the immersion. We're in these squares. What the hell?
This is adorable. Thank you.
I can't move this.
We're stuck in the chairs.
All right, chat. Vote end BTS stream.
Vote end BTS, please. We need to go home.
Well, actually, wait before we end the stream. I got to say this too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be live tomorrow. Like we're going back to kind of normal, so I'll be live tomorrow. I'm gonna play Hard Time, that like prison game where you're like in prison. It's M. Dickey, the wrestling game guy.
I know that game. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like fucking. It looks insane. So I'll be back tomorrow. Well, I'll just check the sus. I want to make sure I got that out so people knew that I was coming back tomorrow. And we'll be back this weekend on probably Friday or Saturday. Probably starting No More Heroes 3. It's going to be a fun one. Been waiting for that one. Can we plug everybody? I mean, everybody knows who these guys are. They're absolute lads. Guys want to do some plugs?
Hey, you know me and Kip be doing our
anything going on?
Me and Kip be doing our thing. Twitch.tv/KipBoga. You know where to find us at.
Oh, thanks for involving us. Thanks for inviting me. It was a blast. It was great working with all you guys. You two, Ludwig. Hey, and when you invited me to that sleepover the first night, and you had that like the little milk carton, the warmed milk for me.
Yeah, you know, I do what I can, man. I do what I can. I was a little hurt when you said you wouldn't stay the night, but it is what it is.
I'm lost on that one.
I'm joking.
I do have to say thank you for getting me a way nicer room than Jerma for no reason. People don't know about that, but they hooked me up. They hooked me up with the room, the ride in, the flight.
I was making a joke the whole time. I was like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm in the presidential suite. I've got 3 bedrooms. Yeah. I'm in the presidential. And I wasn't at all. I was just in a regular room. And then he was like, wait, that's the room I'm in. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I'm in the fucking suite, dude. And I'm like, you got a suite and I didn't? And like, I actually talked to Jake.
I thought you were making the joke. You made the joke every night. I thought you knew because we both had. You didn't have a suite at all. I went into your room. I was like, how do you live like this?
I didn't think anybody had a suite, so I was like making the joke that like, oh, I get the suite, right? But I just didn't. But you did.
I mean, Jerma called me. Jerma called me and said, Ludwig's coming. He's coming. Like make arrangements. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know what that means. Like, what do I have to do? And so he's like, yeah,
it's so ominous.
First class limousine. We'll get him the presidential suite, like whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a limo all the way, and I'm pretty sure Jerma had to ask like 3 wise men which direction the hotel was at. It was beautiful.
I didn't say presidential suite. I just said, oh, we'll just like take care of him. You know, it's like I don't know. It's like he's a big guy. He's like an important guy.
If it's not presidential, I don't show up.
Make note.
Oh, make arrangements for him. God.
Make arrangements.
But long story short, yeah, I did not have that suite, and he did, and I was very surprised to hear about it.
It was like the last night too, at the last possible minute.
Yeah.
Kraken, you got a plug?
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kraken. I'm actually currently on vacation after Dollhouse. I needed a little bit of time off, so I'm
Deserved, I think.
Yeah, I'm not going to be streaming that frequently for the next 2 weeks, but then when I get back, we're doing more interactive streams like Dollhouse. If you like stuff like that, we do that all the time on my show, as well as some other stuff. So, yeah.
I'm going to plug Jerma985.com. Go buy some merch so I can pay my mortgage.
You just tore down a perfectly good house. What
I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow.
Thanks.
Bye,
Thanks, everybody.
everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
It was an unbelievable experience.
Yeah. I'll cherish it forever.
Thanks for your support, chat. It means a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Try it different this time. Set is clear. Clear the set. Yeah!
you.